Greetings, Battle Brothers. It's me, Aurelia Tempris, Defender of the Golden Throne and Servant of Humanity. Welcome in, everyone. Today marks the very first day of our subathon. I'm very excited, and I hope you all are too, especially since we're going over very different content than what we normally do. Instead of just 40k, we're gonna do Warhammer Fantasy and Age of Sigmar. Can I not see Twitch chat? What's happening here? Oh, my Twitch chat wasn't loading. Oh gosh. I was like, what? Oh my gosh. Okay. We're good. I couldn't, on my screen that loads the chat, I couldn't see anyone on Twitch, and I was like, that's weird, but like I see it, there was people, but it didn't show the chat. Hi Twitch. And no, it's not actual scuff, it's just you guys didn't appear on my screen. And thank you, Jay, for resubscribing. Thank you very much. Had to refresh a few times. Yeah, that was kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Did I have a good day? Yes, I had a very, very nice day. It was, that was pretty chill. It was pretty chill, I won't lie. We shall begin the rite of no scuff. No, because see, when you do the rite of no scuff, that means the scuff is going to happen no matter what you do. It's unavoidable, I fear. It's just unavoidable. There's nothing we can do about it. But I hope there is significantly less. Do I sound okay? I had to make some audio changes last minute, and I hope they're not too prominent, that's all. Is this going to be a fantasy lore stream? Yes, so to get everything kicked off, we are going to be watching a couple lore videos. I know there's a video Pancreas No Work did recently that's very popular. I'm going to take a quiz, because I know a little bit. About Warhammer Fantasy, but not a lot. Are you questioning the efficiency of the Omniscience ritual? No, you are clearly underestimating my ability to mess things up. Oh my gosh. DinoFan219, thank you so much for the 20 gift subs. Wait, I didn't even get to explain anything. I didn't even get to talk about stuff. I didn't get to do any of that. And thank you, Super Orlock, for subscribing as well. Man, okay, guys, I wasn't ready. Oh shoot, my piece of paper isn't in here. I'm gonna be taking notes. Well, thank you so much. Wow, okay. I didn't even explain the goals. Too bad, I had to kick things off. Well, thank you, I appreciate it. I was gonna go through a few things, and you caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting us to start this fast. At least I don't have to confess anything yet. And Broston, thank you so much for the follow, and as well as Snake with a lot of numbers. So we get the bare minimum knowledge of fantasy to write the story. Yeah, we'll give everyone a little bit of knowledge, just a little bit of knowledge. So let's, on that note, we should get started. Actually, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna grab my piece of paper because I don't want to type every time I make a note about subs and stuff, and it would be better if I had a piece of paper, but I left it in the other room. Oh, thank you, Canadian Slaughter. Oh my gosh. Wait, is it, I keep forgetting if it's Canadian's Laughter or Canadian Slaughter. It's too late. We're going with the Warhammer one. It's Canadian Slaughter. Thank you so much for the 10 gift subs. Oh my gosh. Okay, I will be right back. I'm gonna go grab the piece of paper. We are almost at our first goal, and then I will explain all the things. It's like Canadian's Laughter. If you look at the username, it's all mashed together. I think it's I think it's Canadian Slaughter because this is a Warhammer. It's Warhammer themed. So that's what we're gonna do. We're going off the Warhammer. I will be right back. Don't do anything while I'm gone, okay? It'll be like 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Okay, I've returned. You guys didn't do anything crazy. Thank you, Shadow. Thank you, Shadow, for the bits. Okay. I was fast. I was fast. Okay. So what do we do in this chat while she's gone? It's usually some version of skittering. It's usually a version of skittering. So... One second. So far, we are at 31. 31. Oh, thank you, Paratrooper Dylan, for the bits as well. Thank you, man. Okay. Got it. It's. I like to keep track of it. Oh, and Wolfwood, thank you on the YouTube side for the subscription as well. 32. Okay. I don't have a good number to keep it up on the screen, so okay, all right. Sadberry, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Guys, I need to explain what the goals are so that people can be excited. I can't do them if you guys are doing them too quickly. Okay, I'm gonna do them really fast. Okay, we're gonna do it. And Laminus, thank you. All right, okay. All right, time out. While I do math. Okay, I know what the math is. Okay, we're making sacrifices of the horn rat. No, don't do that. That's bad. All right, let me pull up. Oh, sweet, I have the schedule already right here. Yay. Why isn't the... See, we tried to do the right of the, we tried to do no scuff, but for some reason, the YouTube chat box is not working. I don't know why, but it's not. The price we must pay. Okay, we're gonna put up in the corner then, since YouTube is not over there for some reason. I apologize. Okay. All right, so here is the schedule for the week. I have it over in the Discord if you want to check it out. Today we're doing our deep dive. Tomorrow, Dark Tide. I know it's not fantasy, but this was the only time Bricky, Froggy, PhD, and DK Diamantes and I could get together. Thank you, Corpse Puppeteer, for the 5 gift subs. Thank you. We're currently at 43. We're already gonna hit our first goal. I appreciate it, guys. Okay, so that's that. And then on Thursday, we're doing more Total War with Lore Master of Sotek, where I will play, as some people might say, the true or the best Empire. Empire of Man, specifically. Okay, so now, the goals. What do you get? Let's see, this one. That one. Okay. Alrighty. These are the goals I have put together for our amusement and excitement. So we are almost, I don't have a total that pops up on the screen, which is why I keep the piece of paper around so I can take notes. So here are the milestones. At 50 subs, you guys get to pick my dinner, which it seems like you will tonight. At 100, you guys pick a new redeem. It could be anything. It could be a sound bite. It could be, you know, within reason. But we'll vote all of that stuff on the Discord. So if you want to participate in some of the chat activities, it's easiest to do through Discord, or sometimes we'll do them live. But usually I like to do them on the Discord because time zones. At 150 subs, you guys get to write a tweet. The last one was terrible, but I've decided we will do it again. At 250, I'm going to get the Arbites DLC because I needed something to prevent myself from getting the pupper. So this is what's I've put a block because I want a pupper. In any case, at 500, we're gonna do a Warhammer Fantasy Aurelia commission. So it won't be Warhammer art. I have found an artist who is going to do me and Warhammer Fantasy. So it's gonna be really cool. 750 Gothrelia. If you guys aren't familiar with Gothrelia, I think there's a clip around here somewhere. Oh wait, wait. Do I have a toggle for that here? Can I? There you go. This is what Gothrelia looks like. So yeah, this is what Gothrelia looks like. Thank you Super Steve, for resubscribing, man. Thank you. So yeah, you'll get her for a whole week, and it's perfect because we have Halloween coming up. Anyways, back to normal now. So, and then after that, these are the stretch goals, because this is going on for like a week. If we need to make more goals, we will make more goals, but I would rather play it safe. At 1,000, I'm gonna do a Sanguinius Aurelia art commission, and I'm going to get your guys' opinion on what I should do. We're gonna keep it safe for work, because that's the vibe, and I'd like to post it. I don't want it to sit on my computer, because if I can't post it, I'm gonna be sad. At 1250, I will paint a Skaven, but I will do it in Aurelia fashion. So it will be Ratrelia. It's gonna be really funny. Don't I get those for free? The art of me and Sanguinius? Well, I do have an artist who loves doing that. Yes. But I'm going to find another artist. I think I found one that I think would be awesome. You know, they have to accept my request, but I'm gonna try to find another person to make Sanguinius Aurelia art. At 1500, we will do, no, it's not Chroma and it's not Jay. It's gonna be someone else. It's a secret. At 1500, we'll do an ASMR stream. I've never done one. I have the equipment for it, but I'm a little nervous about doing it, if I'm being honest. At 1750, we will do a designated karaoke singing stream. And then at 2000, we will specifically do a Warhammer ASMR stream. Whatever that looks like, I have ideas, but it will be distinctly Warhammer themed, and I think it's gonna be awesome. Careful, the Drukhari might come looking for Gothrelia. Oh no, no, oh no, I don't want to think about that one. Okay, and then this shows the individual rewards, but I'll pull it up on another. I have a better picture. Let's see. Where are the individual ones? There it is. Okay. So I was trying to find my picture. I was like, what? I have one. All right. So individual milestones for anyone who you know, gifts, subs. So this is for gift subs, or if you're new to the channel and you're subscribing for the first time, like Mikus Stopwatch. Like, thank you so much for subscribing. And you did it on both sides. You did it on both Twitch and YouTube. Mickey's Stopwatch, that's what it is. Well, thank you very much, man, on both sides. I really appreciate it. So both count. Both Twitch and YouTube count. And Wolfwood, thank you for another gift sub. Wait. Math. One second. I'm doing math. Okay. That's 46 so far. Did you miss the reaction to the Warhammer Fantasy Deep Dive? No, we're just starting. We're just starting right now. We're just starting right now. Thank you, Mickey. So here are the milestones. If you gift 25 subs, I will confess something to chat. You know, obviously TOS, but you're gonna tell me what I need to confess. So if it's that I am a an individual with pointy ears, I will confess that. If it is that I am a small being, I will confess that as well. At 50, I wish I had a reference for you guys. This was a very off-the-cuff idea that I came up with last minute. I am doing, at 50 subs, I'm doing a Steve cursor pack. Where did I post it? Did I post it? I sent it to the mods as a reference, but I lost it. Mods, where did I put that thing? The thing I showed you guys. I was gonna show you an example. I don't have a picture of it because I set it up last minute. I can't find it. Where is it? That was like the one thing I needed to pull up and I forgot to pull it up. Wait, is it over here? Wait. No. Well, that is a good oh, that's actually I should do that. I wanted an example of the whole thing too. I can't find the thing I sent you. Okay, I will show you guys an example. So if any of you are familiar, oh, well, that's lame. Hang on. I have to screenshot it. 1 second. So if any of you have seen like the cute pixel cursors that you can replace your mouse with, that is what I decided to do, just kind of as a fun and silly idea. Let me pull up the picture. So this is what this guy is gonna look like, and it'll come with a bunch of fun and cool icons. So he's gonna be, I imagine him to be like Clippy, but he's gonna be on your mouse, and it's gonna be very, very cute. I will post like the reference so you guys can see later what they look like, but you'll get that because I was like, oh my gosh, that would be so adorable. So I came up with this idea very last minute. So they're not ready yet, but they should be ready tomorrow. Like our Clippy or the OG Clippy. Like, you know, no, I'm talking about like the OG Clippy, how it would hang out and like give you tips and just be overall helpful. That's kind of the vibe I wanted him to have, but I wanted him to be like a little mouse. So I should have it very soon. Yeah, I was hoping it would be ready today, but it's not. That's okay. Thank you, mods, for sending that to me. I appreciate it. Yes, I did mean that. Thank you. No, this covers what I wanted. But yeah, cute little guy. So 50 gifted overall or 50 at once? No, you do not. I don't want you to go bankrupt. It could be 50 like over the course of the whole week. Because I know for some people payday is this weekend, so it's like, oh, I don't want you to have to worry about dumping it all at once. But if you're like, oh, I could do a couple here and a couple here, I'm keeping track on my end, or I'm doing my best to keep track. So don't worry about that. Yeah. Yeah, Clippy just wanted to help, and Steve is going to help you with your work. Wait, y'all get paid? I hope you get paid when you're at your job. I think that's a crime if you don't get paid. I think your company's in big trouble. So for the top donors, I am going to have signed posters with a handwritten note that I will ship to you guys. And in the first place, I have a Wrath and Glory. It's the tabletop RPG book, Dark Tide Extraction book that I'm also going to throw in with the first place donor. So yeah, should be pretty exciting. Let me put these on the screen. Oh my goodness. Clippy wasn't helpful. He tried to be helpful. Clippy tried. He tried to be helpful. I know he wasn't actually, but like I wanted him to have the vibe of like trying to be friendly. I'll hide this one and I'm gonna pull up. I have them in little sections so we can see which ones we haven't hit yet. Oh, I didn't crop that one. Oops, time to fix that. I'm so prepared. I am like 10 out of 10 streamer. There we go. One second. We're gonna do this one while I'm here. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I think we're really close to our first goal, and thank you guys. I'm always surprised because you guys are really generous. Okay. All right. There we go. We're gonna have, I'll probably have to put it up on the other screen, but we're gonna have those up. So in case you forget, it's there on the screen. So it should be fun. I know a perfect game you would like. It's a strategy called Warhammer 40k Battle Sector. You play as a Blood Angel, and the new campaign releases where you play as a Sister of Battle. Ooh, I've heard about it, and I've thought about playing it, but I have to get through like a bunch of other games first. But yes, Gerald, I will probably play it eventually because I love, you know me, I love my Blood Angels. I love my Blood Angels. They're wonderful. I always find it funny how you always underestimate your community. Let's put it this way. I never want to be presumptuous. I don't want to go in with any expectations. That's usually what I'm kind of about. So I try not to have super, like, I try to keep my expectations low because that's a great way to get disappointed. You underestimate our power? Perhaps. ASMR, your commissar actually uses kind words and encouragement to get you to go attack the orcs with your bayonet. I wondered if something like that would happen. If it will, we'll see. Thank you, Paratrooper Dylan. Let me make sure. And Dark Tide is doing a Twitch drop for the new update. Yes, yeah, they did do a new update. I respect my veteran because they changed the skill tree, but I like the changes. I like the changes so far. So yeah. Yes, better to be surprised at overachieving than disappointed in underachieving. Yeah. Pretty much. Another thing, it's not entirely related, but it reminded me of this. Whenever it's like in a working situation, like I try to be like honest about what I can like reasonably achieve and stuff. But a great way to go about things sometimes is under promise, over deliver. Because if you tell them you're going to give them the stars and the moon, and then you can only give them the moon, well, that's disappointing. And you look better if you suddenly if you're like, oh yeah, you can have the moon, and then you're like, I threw in some stars as well, what do you think? And they're like, wow, you're awesome, you're amazing, thank you for that. So, and Grunt and Santa Claus the King, thank you so much for the follows. So, yeah. Okay, I got my, oh, I do have one last thing, I forgot. One little thing, and then we will get started. So I told, for those of you in the Discord, yeah, or was it, I might have said it on the YouTube too. So I have a little announcement when it comes to my 2.0 model debut. So I spoke a lot about being able to debut this November, and I am sorry to say that it is unfortunately not going to happen. The Emperor has me doing a lot of busy work in December and January, and as a result, I will not be able to stream on a consistent basis. I know, I'm very, very sad about this. I'm very sad about this, but I won't be able to stream on a consistent basis, and after the new model is released, I would really like to take any momentum I can get and like keep streaming So unfortunately we have to delay it probably until February when I have my 2-year anniversary. So I'm very sorry. I was very disappointed. I cried about it a lot. I cried about it a lot. I will be 100% honest when I say that. So yeah, I'm really, really sorry, but it's going to be awesome, I promise. So, as I foretold, what do you mean you foretold? Let me clarify. It's not because I wasn't able to get the work done in advance. Everything will be done by the original deadlines that I set. It's just unfortunate timing that, you know, when the Emperor calls, the Emperor calls. So unfortunately it gets in the way. And that's not to say I won't stream at all. I might be able to do like a stream here and there, or like participate in community events. I plan on putting together some community events with the mods. So we will be doing a lot of that. So I may be around every once in a while, but I just can't stream consistently 3 to 4 days a week like I have in the past, which is a huge bummer. But it is what it is. And Santa Claus King, I wasn't ignoring you. Thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. First time watching the stream, big World Eaters fan. Excited for the stream since playing Total War again. Yay! I played against World Eaters, and they were not very fun. They hurt. They hurt in tabletop sim. So I'm glad you are here, and we just got over our first goal. We just hit our first goal. We have now hits, it's 52 now. So yay! So thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy your first stream here. This is going to be fun keeping track of all this. And Alexander, thank you so much for resubscribing, man. Thank you for the 12 months of support. So yeah, so that's what's going on. So I apologize. I feel really bad about it, but it is going to be amazing. I have a lot of cool things planned. Yeah, new model for the new year. But trust me, I've poured a lot of of my heart and soul into this. So I really can't wait for you guys to see it. And it eats me up on the inside. It eats me up on the inside that we're not going to be able to see it this year. But it is what it is. So, I guess now, what am I having for dinner? we could think about this now. So you're going to be doing an irregular schedule when? December and January. It's kind of up in the air. The Emperor... Well, I must go when the Emperor summons me, so I don't have exact dates as to when it will start, but December... January is basically what we're looking at here. But I will send an update in the Discord so everyone knows, so that everyone's on the same page. I just wanted to say it here first. So, Taco Bell. You know me so well. I would love Taco Bell. How is my spice tolerance? Well, it's okay. It's okay. Caramel cockroach candy bar. Mods, I need you to restrain. I need you to restrain one of your own. How dare you? Listen here, buddy. Just because I'm busy in December doesn't mean I am a Christmas elf. Doesn't mean I'm one of Santa's elves. I don't work for that guy. I work for an old guy. But he does not have a beard. He has long, luscious, flowing hair. I mean, he does see you when you're sleeping, and he knows when you're awake. He does also... Anyways, it is besides the point. I do not work for Santa Claus. I work for the Emperor of Mankind, and Too Bright. I'm sorry it's had to come to this. Mods, restrain him. Restrain him. We cannot have him. We cannot have him here. He's a menace to society. To streaming society. What if the Emperor is Santa Claus? He would, well, he could be. You never know. He could be. I think he's capable of getting to all the houses in one night. I think, I mean, you know, that would work. Pretend we could time him out. Yeah, I know if we time him out, then we have to give him back his permissions. Just go stand in the corner. Isn't Santa Claus heresy? Well, I mean, do you worship Santa Claus? Because then that's heresy. That is heresy. Emperor of Mankind is Santa confirmed. Yeah, as I was thinking about it, I was like, oh. They're actually very, very similar. What the heck? You will never beat the Eldar accusations. Look, I would rather be called an Eldar than a Christmas elf. Let's just put it that way. I would rather it be like that. Oh my gosh. Now we're going through a whole rabbit hole. Tell that mod just not to say anything. Do you think they listen? Do you think they listen to me? Bold of you to assume that my mods listen to me. They have a whole mind of their own. They cannot be tamed. They cannot be tamed. Yes, dinner first. You're right. You're right. I should not make such a rash decision on an empty stomach. You're right. You're right. What are we having? Should I do like a spin the wheel thing? Let's do that. Let's do that. We can take everyone's suggestions and then we're gonna spin the wheel. How about that? That sounds fun. Let me pull it up on the screen. Spin the wheel. Generator. Random name picker. Okay. 1 second while I... Okay. Let me switch the screens over. We're gonna switch it over. I'll be back in a sec. Okay. Let us see here. We're gonna do this. Okay. So we're gonna put... So we're gonna put all these on the list. Aurelia on a shelf. You put me on a shelf. I was gonna say, is there a shelf that I would be okay with? And I was like, yeah, no, definitely not. Okay, KFC. You guys only get one, so start yelling things out. Chicken parm. Okay, we can find that somewhere. Burger joint. You want a specific burger joint? Pizza? Okay. Well, I guess we can do pizza, burgers with an I. Burger. Hottest food you can find. Okay, so full disclosure, the hottest food I can find is currently at my house. It's currently with me. It's called Lil Nitro. It's the world's hottest gummy bear. I bought 2 of them a year ago, and I kept one because I was like, well, that's I would like just to have it to say I ate it. So I do have that. Do you really want me to put that? Do you want me to put that on there? Ramen. Wait, no, that's Jay. Okay, I thought that was someone else. Ramen, yes. Thai food. We will put Thai on there. Oh, we're gonna put it on there. Okay. Lil Nitro. I get to spin twice if I get Lil Nitro, okay? As a 1% chance, it's gonna be more than a 1% chance. I need you guys to come up with, like, more so I don't get it. A whole pineapple. I like pineapple. Okay. Hot dog. Sorry if I miss yours. Type it again if I missed it. A scorpion. No. Yes, you can eat scorpions, but I'm not gonna eat a scorpion. Here we go again. What do you mean, here we go again? Burritos. Oh, yes. Burrito. A whole set of bananas, okay. I like bananas, so that's tolerable. I can manage that. Time to split the Taco Bell slot into each menu items to lower the chances. I will be honest. What kind of pie? Fish and chips. Ooh, fish and chips. Nachos. We've got lots of options. Froggy's choice. Oh my gosh, great idea. I think she's sleeping, but I will call her. Oh, I kind of want it to be that. I'm so curious. We're gonna do 2 of those as Froggy's choice because that would be really funny. So 2 of them are, we're gonna mix some, actually no, we'll keep them right next to each other. Someone's, okay, enchiladas. Oh, I'm just getting hungry. That's all we're doing. You're just making me hungry. Buffalo wings. Okay. Sandwich. Oh, pork tenderloin sandwich. It's very specific. I will see what I can do if I get it. Proc what about tenderloin? There we go. I can spell. Lasagna. Okay. I think, do we think this is enough? Soup. Yeah, proc. No. Oh, don't know. I don't want to have flan. Yes, if any of you hadn't said any, you want to say stuff, I'm gonna give you like 30 seconds to say one so I can get everyone in here because it's kind of fun doing it this way. Last time we did like a vote and like I think actually no, I had someone specific pick because they like donated a bunch. Shadow, didn't you already say something? Hamsters. I'm not eating hamsters. Why would I do that? I'm not even sure where I would get one. I'm not going to like a pet store. They're gonna be like, what is this for? And I'm gonna be like, you don't want to know. Dino nuggets. Oh yes. Means we're gonna have to end stream so I can go to the store and get stuff. Okay, how many do I have? 26 entries. Swedish meatballs and mashed potatoes. I'm gonna say meatballs and mashed potatoes. I'm like kind of excited because this is gonna be meatballs. There, I can spell. No, within reason. Don't be gross. Ube. Okay. I think, does it have to be something you can obtain tonight? I think I can obtain most of these tonight. Some of them I might have to like do some research. If not, I'll have it tomorrow. Yeah, it could be for another night's dinner, but I think I can get most of these with takeout. There might be like, or like going to the store. Cause even then, like some of the stores are open kind of later. And there's the last one. Big Mac. Okay. I think, did I put soup on here? There, soup. Anything that's as small as a hamster deserves to be a snack? What world do you live in? What world do you live in? Oh my gosh. All right, we're gonna spin the wheel. Where's the button? Okay, so we just click to spin. All right, guys. All right. Make your bets. All right, let's do it. If I get little nitro, I get to spin again. Pie. I don't know what pie means though. Someone just said pie. So I will get a pie. Is this, do we have dessert pie? Just pie. Another wheel for pie type? That's fine. We can do that. We can do that. Pies. All right. Hit me. So don't actually hit me. Chicken pot. So chicken pot pie. What if I just ate a pumpkin pie? Meat. So apple. I saw apple. Meat. That's very, can we get more specific than meat? Pumpkin. Pecan. Oh no, I don't like pecan pie. Oh no. Shepherd's pie. We've got scorpion pie. That doesn't exist. haggis, cherry, French silk, eel pie? That's a thing? Okay, that one might take me some time to figure out. A tofu pot pie? Oh, that sounds... I'm not a tofu person. Rhubarb. I can spell rhubarb. Do I know how to spell rhubarb? Yes, I do. Anise pie? Do you mean banana? Banana cream. Cranberry. I don't know if cranberry's kind of seasonal. I don't know if they'll have that. What are we doing? We're figuring out what I'm gonna have. A grape pie. Grape? There's grape pies out there? Sardines and anchovies. I don't think people like regularly make pies with that. No, I don't want to have a chocolate pie. I don't want to have a chocolate pie. Oh no. Yeah, if some of these pies I will not be able to get tonight. Some of these sound fake. Some of them might be. I don't know. It's called a pizza pie for a reason. Oh my gosh, you're a genius. Pizza. You are right. You are right. It is pizza pie. I saw... Did I get cherry? I don't think I got cherry. I think I got rhubarb. Okay. What is a pizza pie? No, people call pizza pie. Now, I didn't say I had to eat the whole pie. Does cheesecake work? I don't think cheesecake is... It has cake in the name, which means I don't think it's a pie. It is pie-esque, but it is not a pie. Do I have cherry twice? Oh, I do. Fixed it. Yeah, cake is not a pie. Let me see if I missed anything. This is great. We love more Warhammer people. Yes, yes. I normally do 40k stuff, but today we're doing Warhammer Fantasy, but we hit one of our goals, so we're taking a little break before we start. I think I got most of them. Okay. Oh, a beef roast. I missed that one. So there'll be like a beef one. Yeah, I mean, today we're getting into the lore, but this week we're doing all Warhammer fantasy content. Okay, I think we got him. Does peach cobbler count? No, it's a cobbler, not a pie. Now I'm getting hungry. Yeah, a lot of these are dessert pies. Well, will I be allowed to eat something else too if I want more than just a dessert pie? Is that allowed? Anyway, spin the wheel! Spin the wheel! Alright, what are we getting? No, 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 no. Oh, no. I don't like pecan pie. Oh, no. Okay. Alright, I will get a pecan pie. That's hilarious. I mean, of the ones that were on there, pecan is manageable. How much for a reroll? It feels like that would be like a punishment. What punishment do I get if I get a reroll? I mean, it's honestly fine. I think I can get a pecan pie reasonably quickly. The wheel hath spoken. We'll spit again. We'll see. So this will be the dessert pie, and then we'll do it another time for the... It's pecan again. No way. Oh man, I was like, if it was the pizza pie, I was gonna lose my mind. Okay, so we're gonna get 2 pies. We will get a chicken pot pie. And put this in my notes. Chicken pot pie and pecan pie. Beautiful. We have done the things. Incredible. Let me get my screen back to normal. Now, see, that's gonna be a good meal. That's a pretty solid outcome. Yeah, we got an actual dinner pie. Chicken pot pie is good. Should not have said you don't like pecan pie. The wheel knew. It also knew I didn't like tofu, so I was a little worried about that, but it's okay. You like this guy? Yeah, Pancreas no work. He voiced Kitten. I got to do like a kind of a collab. I got to do Quizcastus with him, and he was a really chill guy. He was really cool. Yeah. Okay, so I will get the pies, and I will take a picture, and I will send you... Oh no, Pancreas no work is a different guy. You're right. Thunder Psyker voiced Kitten. Why... Who am I thinking of? My brain is off its rocker today. Pancreas no work. I'm so confused. But anyways. Anyways. You're right, it's Thunder Psyker. I don't... I'm so... My brain, I've lost my mind. I've lost my mind. Oh, okay, so here's what we got today. Let me show you the videos that we're gonna do. We have every Warhammer Fantasy faction explained. This was like a year ago. 1.3 million views. Haven't watched it. We have the Great Book of Grudges came out with Warhammer Age of Sigmar lore. The story so far is from 4 years ago, so forgive me, that's out of date. We have this guy, which this one is also an older video. I was having a harder time finding like shorter comprehensive videos. Warhammer Fantasy versus Age of Sigmar from 7 years ago. So I was just kind of curious what the split was, but I figured that would be made known to us. And then the last thing I thought would be fun, which we could do this now or we could do it later, but we have Warhammer Fantasy faction test, where I answer 80 questions and we see what my faction is. So we can do that first, or we can do it after. Pancreas has a thing for Eldar. Yeah, I knew that. Why did I confuse it with Thunder Psyker? Why did I make that? I don't know why or how I got all confused, but it's okay. It's okay. So pre-test, I feel like doing the test at the beginning would be good. Probably gonna crop my screen so you guys can read it better. There, that way. Oh, I don't know what I just moved. 1 second. I'm making this bigger so you guys can see it. There. Should be good. Now I want to know. Oh wait, let me get you guys the links. I will provide the links. If you guys want to take this test, I'm going to throw it into the Going Live channel in my Discord server. And then I will link all the videos that we go over in the description of the video of the VOD once we're done. So, we'll start with this. If she gets Dark Elf, it's gonna be funny. Oh man, I hope not. I sincerely hope not. Okay. Are we ready? Music sound good? Everything else sound good? Excuse me. All right. I would say craftsmanship and engineering, I wouldn't call them sacred arts, but I think that they're like, I think they're important, but I wouldn't call it sacred. So I'm going to go a little bit into the green here. I believe gluttony and violence are shameful. 100%. Well, it's weird that they put those two together, gluttony and violence. Purely for, like, the violence, absolutely. Gluttony, well, it's not great. It is test time. I feel most at peace when surrounded by nature. Yeah, I'd say so. I agree. There are times where it's not the case. I take what I desire no matter the cost. Yeah, no, I hard disagree. I hard disagree. I respect ancient legacies and the silence of eternity. What does that mean? Can anyone provide context on what the silence of eternity means here? Because I respect the people who came before us, but the silence of eternity? Like, am I, like, talking about the future? Death? Yeah, I'm confused. It sounds very Necron coded, yeah. Let's... Oh, wait, hang on one second. Let me put up the other... Hang on, I'm gonna put up the goals on the side. Actually... I'm gonna actually edit this one. Hang on. I'm gonna edit the current set of goals we have, so it's all, like, crossed off. Okay. Oh, let's see if it's gonna be angry with me. I cropped it. I cropped the last image. 1 second. I cropped the last thing I used. Okay, we're gonna have to kill this one, I think. Yeah, I'll take care of that later. I don't want my computer to crash like last time. Sorry, I just want to make sure. Oops, that's big. Okay. I'm just gonna put the goals up. We'll put it up here for now. I'll move it so it's out of the way. I just want to make sure those are up on the screen for the ones we've hit. That? What? What's that? Thank you for the bits. What's that about? Very Tomb Kings. You respect the legends and that you enjoy peace and quiet. I mean, I do. I agree. I respect the past. Oh, there's a video that I put in the live stream chat in Discord. Oh, okay. Thank you. I'll take a look at that. Okay. Yeah, I respect the past. I think that's fair. I embrace the darkness and the power it offers. No. Definitely not. No thanks, I will not be corrupted, thank you very much. I believe that faith in a higher power gives me strength in battle. Well, see, you could take that two different ways. You could be like chaos, or it could be something else. Bro, Adam, thank you so much for the 20 gift subs on the YouTube side. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Holy cow. That's a lot of gift subs. Now we're at 72. I would say if I was gonna be like fantasy Aurelia, yes. I would say yes. Probably this one. I would say yes. I very paladin. I like paladin vibes. I like that vibe. A little corruption never hurt anyone. If you say so, man. I believe in chivalry and the virtues of honor and courage. Yes, absolutely, 100%. I feel a deep responsibility to lead others with grace. I like the way that's put. I'm not, okay. I'm not good at it all the time, but yes, I would agree. I would like to be the kind of person that leads people with grace. I'm not always the best at it. I will be 100% honest. I'm not always the best, but that's okay. I value loyalty to my tribe above all. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I think you still have some morals, but I think, yeah, I think loyalty is really good. Everyone's guessing. I respect ruthless ambition and the mastery of industry. I like it when people are ambitious, but not at the cost of others. Like, not at, like, the extreme cost. Like, I can admire someone who's, like, willing to get their hands dirty, but it's, it can be a lot sometimes. So I'm gonna keep it in the middle. I believe deception and backstabbing are dishonorable. 100%. Yes. I see glory in preserving the past, not chasing the future. Well, see, this is where I disagree. So, I think it is important to preserve the past because then you can learn and make the future better as a result. But I think if you're not looking towards the future, it's a problem. Oh, Adam, I only been here for about a month, but I feel like I found a fun and enjoyable place to enjoy for our lovable boss. Thank you so much, man. That's really sweet of you to say. That's very kind. I really appreciate it. I appreciate that, man. You guys say such nice things, and I never know how to respond to them. What about honorable backstabbing? Honorable backstabbing. That sounds counterintuitive. But I'm gonna disagree. Preserving the past is important, but I think the future is more. Oh, Babbling Prophet, thank you for the bits. I hope you have a good night's sleep. Sleep well, okay? There'll be tons of fun stuff tomorrow. I feel most free when rules and walls fall away. No. I kind of like having rules. I kind of like having rules. Yeah, I'm a nerd. I kind of like having structure in my life. Guidelines. Yeah, we'll just put it there. We'll put it there. I strive to be worthy of something greater than myself. Yeah. Yeah. I believe strength lies in numbers and overwhelming force. I feel like I have to agree with this one if we've been looking at my most recent Dawn of War streams. Because that's all I do. Because that's all I do. I make 50 million blood ravens and then I throw them at the enemy. So I honestly feel like there's like no other answer. There's no other answer. Yeah, I feel like if I would do it in RTS, it would probably like a real life thing. So we have to say yes. We have to say yes. I feel drawn to the unknowable and otherworldly. No. I have like friends who like think about things that it's like, man, I always wonder about like this thing or that thing, and I'm like, oh, I don't think about that. I don't give stuff like that much thought. If we throw enough men at them, they will drown in all the blood. Unfortunately, that is how I play my RTS game. Yeah, I don't feel drawn to the unknowable. I embrace the chaos within myself. I would say for the most part, no. But I have embraced more chaotic energy. I've been more chaotic ever since I started streaming. So we will... Normally, I would have said, like, strong disagree, but we're gonna just move it down one, because I'm a little more chaotic as a result. Is there a link where I can take this test too? Okay, so I have it posted in the Discord, but if mods, one of you wants to post it, Martin over in YouTube would like the link. So... But it's also in the Discord in the live stream channel. Oh, I pressed back. Oops. There you go. I live in chaos and I thrive in chaos and live for the thrill of battle. No. No. I mean, I think the thrill of battle is exciting, but I don't think I'd live for it. Do I detect heresy? No, there's no heresy here. No heresy here. I'm in the channel and I don't see the link. Did I post it in the wrong channel? I thought I posted it. Did I not? Huh? In the live stream chat channel? It's okay. Shadow Revan got it. It's okay. We're good. I believe immortality is worth any price. No. No. I don't think so. It's not in the live stream chat? Where did I post it then? Oh well, it's posted. That's all that matters. I don't know where I put it. I'm a very special streamer today. I don't know where I put it. Thank you, Shadow, for taking care of that. Yeah, no, immortality is not worth any price. This is gonna be like, you have to sacrifice like 50 million babies, and I'm like, no. Oh, I posted it in the wrong channel. Could you delete that for me, please? Sorry. I believe destiny is forged through conquest and transformation. No. I think you can find your destiny not through conquest. I disagree. I could see a little bit of it happening, like you're finding a purpose greater than yourself. Faith and destiny shape my path in life. Yes. Yeah, that, like, if we're going for paladin vibes, yes, I agree. I believe ancient traditions should be forgotten and replaced. No, I disagree with that. I think there are some traditions that are good to keep. Power is best seized through cunning and cruelty. No. Cunning, yes. Cruelty, no. I disagree. It's the whole adage, it's like, would you rather be feared or loved? And it's like, ooh, I would rather be loved. Because if you seize power through cruelty, people will find a way to get it back from you. I believe society is weak and should crumble. That is a question. Society is weak and should crumble. No, I can't agree with that. Whoa, what a question. No, I disagree. I think society is flawed, but just because it's flawed, I don't think it should necessarily, go away. I think fighting is the best way to solve a problem. No. Although sometimes I am itching for a fight. Go full anarchy? No, I can't. I'm very order coded, okay? I'm very order coded. It's just not gonna work for me. Magic is a noble tool that must be mastered with discipline. Yeah. I can see that. Yes. I believe that grudges are petty and should be forgotten. Yes, they are petty. Actually, I kind of agree pretty heavily with that. Nurgle, you're a liar. You're a liar if you say that's a Nurgle question. We all know what faction has a book of grudges. Yes. Are you a dwarf? No, I'm not a dwarf. This goes in the book. Okay. I embrace the wild nature within myself. No, not really, but more so because of streaming. But I think in everyday life, not so much. I believe war is senseless and should be avoided. Yes. War should be like the last resort. Yeah, I think war should be our last resort. I admire cunning sabotage and relentless ambition. Yeah, no. No. I believe strength is forged in conflict and change. Actually, yes, I do agree with that. Actually, that's like the best way to get stronger. By having to deal with conflict. And that's how you get better. I agree with that. I believe the past should stay buried and forgotten. No, disagree with that. I believe reality is fragile and should be reshaped. No. No. I believe discipline and order are the true paths to greatness. Yes! Yes. Yes. I believe civilization is a lie forced on the strong. What does that mean? I believe civilization is a lie forced on the strong, as in... Oh, is this basically saying that, people say, oh, well, you should be civilized so that the strong people don't, like, overthrow and take over and rule the weaker people? Is that what it's saying? That's what it sounds like to me. Where it's like, well, you only believe in civilization. That's what it sounds like to me. I disagree with that. Innovation and gunpowder are necessary for the defense of civilization. This is America coded. This is absolutely USA coded. Innovation and gunpowder. Yes. Are they necessary? Probably not exactly, but I like this question, and as an American, I must answer agree. I have to. 3 out of 3 bald eagles for that one. I enjoy indulging my desires without restraint. No, I disagree. There's times it's nice, but, like, I feel terrible afterwards. Merca. I believe might makes right. No. No. I feel more alive when surrounded by death. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're not doing that. I take pride in tradition and honor my ancestors. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like tradition. I respect power no matter where it comes from. That was a weird one. Not no matter where it comes. I have to disagree, because there's some where it's like, some of it's not tolerable. I see myself as a proud defender of progress and order. Actually kind of neutral on that one. I hadn't really thought about it. So I'll say neutral, because I wouldn't say that I am, but I wouldn't say that I'm, like, against it. I value structure, law, and rule of law above all else. Yeah. Not above all else, but I agree with it a lot. I believe the mortal world must be protected from corruption. Yes. I feel a connection to ancient wisdom and lost civilizations, and not so much. What happened to order coded? Look, most of it is order coded, I would say. I believe the occult is vile and unnatural. Yeah, I'd say so. I believe that chivalry and virtue are lies to control the weak. Honestly, I feel like this question should be rephrased. I know what they're trying to say, but it's like, I believe that chivalry and virtue are lies to control the strong, that they limit the strong, because when you're chivalrous, it is usually like in a protective manner or something. So like you are being a servant versus like, I don't know how that controls the weak. I disagree though. I disagree. I find beauty in vengeance and domination. What kind of domination? Anyways. I act swiftly and without warning when defending what I love. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It keeps the serfs as serfs, but how? How I don't. Let me look at something. We're going back to the question about chivalry controlling the weak. Let me just take a quick look. Let me just take a look. So, no, I don't want the AI overview. So, okay. Definition of chivalry. It's the medieval knightly system with its religious, moral, and social code. It's the combination of qualities expected of an ideal knight, especially courage, honor, courtesy, justice, and a readiness to help the weak. So, if it's saying that chivalry keeps the weak people down, because then you could say, well, it implies that the weak people just want to stay weak because they're like, oh, well, someone will be chivalrous and save me. Which in that case, I could see it, but I don't think that's the intent of the question. Yeah, chivalry is a code for the upper class. That's what I was saying. So I don't know how the weaker class like stays pinned down, because it was supposed to be like you were supposed to be good to the people beneath you. You were supposed to treat them with like respect and dignity, when it was normally not. You were not expected to, because you were stronger. You could do whatever you wanted, but it would kind of going against like the norm of like going out of the way, loving your neighbor type thing. Chivalry is also used to keep the weak down, because why would the peasants revolt against the nobility? They are chivalrous only, and only bad people do that, have that kind of thinking. Yeah, I feel like that's like really, really like loose. Like I don't feel like, thank you Shadow for the bits. I just don't know if it keeps them down. I disagree either way. Anyways, it was an interesting question. I am guided by a higher cosmic purpose, even if I don't understand it. Yeah, sure. Paladin. I believe that nature should be tamed and controlled. Stop giving her lore info. Well, I was asking, and also like, we're also talking about actual medieval lore here, so it's a little different. Like medieval history. I believe that nature should be tamed and controlled. No, I don't think so. I disagree. I value ambition more than loyalty or trust. No, false. I don't need plans when I've got strength. That makes me laugh, but I disagree. I disagree with that. I believe that death is not the end of duty. I think it is. I think it is the end. They're trying to get me with this undead question. So I'm gonna put a stop to that. Even in death I still serve, but they have undead in Warhammer Fantasy. They don't have dreadnoughts. I find beauty in death and undeath nope. I believe savagery must be overcome with discipline. Yes. Yes. I enjoy watching enemies fall from the shadows. Oh. I think if I was gonna get into combat, I want to be up close and personal. I want to look you in the eyes, but I don't mind being a sniper every once in a while. I enjoy unpredictability and raw power. No, I don't agree. I never forget a slight, and I believe debts must be repaid. I will hold a grudge for a while, I won't lie, but there's a point where you just gotta let it go. So I disagree. I believe unseen forces guide and protect the forest. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I value harmony with the wild over civilization. No. I guess I'm not going to be a wood elf. I believe cruelty and enslavement are never justified. Yes, they're not justified. Correct. I see myself as a protector of balance and civilization. Same thing as before. I wouldn't call myself a protector, but I'm not like an antagonist. We're gonna go neutral on that one. I value loyalty and kinship above personal ambition. Well, that one's tough because this one's like, the ambition doesn't seem as like bad. The forest will remember this. Oh no. Oh no. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I value invention when it's backed by cruelty and order. That's definitely Chaos Dwarf right there. Disagree. I see beauty in chaos, fury, and instinct. Nah. No, I wouldn't sacrifice loyalty for ambition. I wouldn't. I believe cruelty is always wrong, no matter the reason. I think people can have good intent, but I still think if you're being cruel, like, you shouldn't be cruel. You should be reasonable. So, yes. Yes. Yeah, like, yeah. I believe domination and control lead to greatness. Nah. I do not fear madness, only stagnation. Disagree. We should rename the Rat Relia Redeemed to Skaven Relia if we're gonna do Warhammer Fantasy. Great idea. Great idea. 1 second. Hopefully this doesn't break anything. Where is Rat Relia? There it is. There you go. You got your wish. Hopefully it doesn't break the redeem now. I respect those who earn power through strength. Disagree. Did it work? Yes, it worked still. Okay, it didn't break anything. Great. I believe wisdom and knowledge should guide all decisions. Yeah. I am loyal to noble ideas, even in the face of danger. Yes. I believe arrogance is a mortal sin, dude. Pride and ego and arrogance. I'm drinking my water. They're pretty bad. They're pretty bad. I revel in the extremes. Pleasure, rage, decay, or change? Nah. I trust instinct and ritual more than innovation. That one's kind of neutral. That's a weird one. It's rather arrogant to hate arrogance. Isn't it more arrogant to love arrogance? I don't know. I feel connected to something timeless and unchanging. I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. That's kind of a weird one too. Timeless and unchanging. Talking about the Golden Throne. Well, we'll do that then. I trust no one but myself. Well, that's not true. I see no problem with sacrifice if it serves progress. Depends on the sacrifice. Depends on the sacrifice. But most of the time, probably no. I believe order is more important than personal freedom. I'm gonna disagree. Disagree. All right. Now we have taken the test. What are your guesses? Tell me, chat. What are your guesses? What am I getting? What do you guys think I'm getting? Because I saw a bunch of you saying like, "Oh, this is for this faction. This is for this faction." What am I getting? I'm seeing Bretonia, Sigmar. I'm seeing Empire. This test called me French. Someone got 97% Empire, 83% Azure, as Asur, and 73% Bretonia. That's a pretty good combo. High elf for the Empire, Cathay. Oh, Cathay would be interesting. I imagine they're more into like personal freedoms and stuff like that. Very much no chaos, but you were mostly weak yes on everything, so I don't know. Well, it wasn't like... I actually had a lot that were some pretty strong yeses. But I agree, I did have some. I got Bretonia and I am French, so that tracks. Alright, let's see what I got. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, here's what we got here. We got Bretonia. Then we've got the Empire. And then we've got High Elves. So all of you guys that said I would be an elf. Oh wait, hang on, you can't see it. My bad. Sorry. It's because I 1 second. It's because I cropped it. There. Third highest is still elf, but like at least like look at these though. Look how many of them. There's at least 3 that are elves. Like, it wasn't impossible. You're worse than an elf. You're French. No, I'm French. I'm French. All right. Bretonia is a feudal kingdom steeped in chivalry, faith, and myth. Its noble knights uphold the ideals of honor, courage, and self-sacrifice, riding forth in glittering armor beneath the banners of virtue. Ruled by a king, but guided by the mystical Lady of the Lake, Bretonia is a land where the devout are blessed and the worthy seek the Grail. While the nobility bask in idealism, the peasantry toils under strict feudal order, protected by their lords. It is a realm of rolling fields, towering castles, and hidden fey glades. Knights joust for glory while battling beastmen, undead, and worse. Though tradition binds them, their faith grants strength. Bretonia shines as a romantic vision of heroism amid a grim world. Congrats on your French citizenship. Good news, Bretonia is closer to King Arthur, England, than actual France. Yes, I did know that at least. The Lady of the Lake is an elf goddess? I thought she was just a Oh, dang. He would cry if he saw this result, but I mean, I still think the elves are cool. I'm just not one of them. I'm just not aligned in the same way. Doesn't mean I hate them. Aurelia is Lady of the Lake confirmed. Where did you get that? I'm being called a horse girl now. I must now find the Lady of the Lake's bathwater? Well, wouldn't that be like just the lake? Wouldn't that just be the lake? Huh. I assumed that would just be the lake. Here, let me adjust the screen. Well, that's not what I wanted. Ah! I goofed it up. Sorry, I have to uncrop it and then like resize it back to the monitor. Great. Now we're back to the proper size. But that was a good test. That was a good test. I'm gonna keep this screen up. Ow. She's already justifying the bathwater comments. Definitely Bretonia. Wait, I wasn't saying, I was just asking, isn't the lake, the Lady of the Lakes, like bathwater? Like, I don't feel like that's like unreasonable to think. You need to quest for it before you're allowed to sip of the Grail. I honestly feel like it would be harder to find her bathwater if it's not the lake than finding the Grail. I don't know, if I was her, I would be guarding my bathwater zealously. You all need the Emperor. That's honestly, that is not unsurprising. Okay. So we're gonna start off with, we'll see how far we get into some of these videos. Hang on. Oh, okay, good. We're gonna see how far we get tonight. But we are at least going to watch Pancreas's video. I'm going to get rid of the, we'll do this so you guys can see the whole video, and then I'm going to put this down here. Ah! Keep messing things up. There. So we can see the whole video. Oh, hey, Barley Bread. The last TTS podcast. I forgot what the reason was why I didn't make a video for that. I have to think about it because that would be over a year ago now. I would have to double check. I felt bad that I just kept re-uploading like the individual episodes, so it might have been for that reason, Barley Bread. But it is in a stream, so okay, let me put my OBS over here so I can see things. Okay, we're gonna fiddle with the audio. Background music is off. The desktop music is on. And we're gonna fiddle with it to make sure it sounds good before we get started. Let me see.
Statement: I like when people get into Warhammer. It's always a joy to have more people to play with and interact with in the hobby.
How was that? Does it need to be a little louder? A bit louder? Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I just wanted to check.
Controversial statement: I like when people get into Warhammer. It's always a joy to have...
Better? I think that's gonna be better. Good? Okay. Good, good, good. Then we will get into it. So, this is Pancreas No Works video. I will be putting all the links in the description. Please, well, let's do the important thing. Was it not gonna let me? Okay, I can't. We're gonna give this thing a like. Oh, am I not subscribed? Subscribe, okay? So make sure you go like and subscribe. This video doesn't have 1.3 million views for nothing. So, and it's good to see you, Vitalis. No worries, just feel free to relax while we have fun on our subathon. I'm gonna have a pot pie later, which should be fantastic. But yeah, I'll probably make a separate like reaction video of this, maybe trim it. We will see. But this should be very good as a person who isn't... I know a little bit about Warhammer Fantasy from my friend Lore Master of Sotek, and I've watched a couple other videos, but as a primarily 40k enjoyer, I really don't get into Warhammer Fantasy and Age of Sigmar all that much. But this is Warhammer Fantasy, so let's do it.
Controversial statement, I like when people get into Warhammer. It's always a joy to have more people to play with and interact with in the hobby space. It's a new chance for me to try and convert someone, anyone, into accepting that the Eldar are actually really cool and interesting, and please just for 5 minutes stop saying elf bad. But speaking of elves, every time there's a wave of people that first learn about Warhammer, there's always one thing in common with them. None of them realize there's more to Warhammer than Space Marines, Tyranids, and spikier Space Marines. There's a whole other pair of settings that also exist, and they just fly right under the radar half the time. And this sucks, because the best Warhammer setting is right there. Yeah, GW ended it, but then it came back. And if you don't want to, you don't even have to collect thousands of dollars of minis to play with this one. Kind of. Warhammer Fantasy has been around longer than even 40k. It's had its ups, it's had its downs. It got blown up for a little bit, but thanks to Total War, Vermintide, and the constant nagging of the community, you can once again play in the old world.
I will say, I have not done any old world stuff, but I love, like, Total War has been a lot of fun. And I've really, really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoy it.
With elves, dwarves, and humans as standard, but also some more out-there races, such as magical frogs, rats, and Walmart shoppers. And not enough people know about them. Not nearly enough.
I mean, he's not wrong. That's like your stereotypical, like, Walmart shopper with the electric wheelchair and... Oh my gosh. Yes. No, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
And not nearly enough people learn that this setting is even a thing. So I'm going to be doing my part today. Today I'm going to learn you all about every faction in Warhammer Fantasy.
Yes, I'm ready.
Some of them had extensive army lists and plot relevance, some of them languished when unupdated army books for years on end, and some of them until recently were relegated to about 3 pages of background lore.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, we're doing it all. If you can conceivably consider it an actual faction, they'll be here. Think of it
This may be out of date whenever you watch this video, so keep that in mind. Things like this, they're never 100% accurate.
As a companion to this video. That one was me trying to overview the setting as a whole, and this one is about the groups of people in the setting. So let's dive into a world of fantasy and see what all that nonsense about them having the Warhammer is all about. But you're about to start listening to me list off all kinds of factions, and do you know what you could be listening to me with? Raycon and their Everyday Earbuds, the sponsor of this video. Raycon's Everyday Earbuds are some of the finest available on the market.
I actually have Raycon earbuds.
Just to go that extra mile. Let's just get right into the features of these bad boys.
Mine kind of,
so if you and someone else want to share the music, you can with no problems.
Mine kind of suck a little bit, but these ones look a lot nicer. I won't lie.
Design to make them look and feel
but mine are like, eh.
It's even got a cool protective case to keep them nice and safe. I've got them colored in a nice purple in a galaxy-themed case. It's got a nebula on it and everything.
That is very nice.
You can get them in other options, though.
Sorry, I feel the desire to let him do his thing.
Life that gets 90 minutes of battery per 10 minutes of charging. I forget to charge my headphones pretty often, and combined with my
wow, that's really good, actually.
That's usually a bad thing. But the Everyday Earbuds got my back. You can just charge them up for a little bit, and they're good to go.
I wonder if they're a current, like a newer design.
It's nice and relaxing, and the sound quality.
Face reveal!
Get into the swing
oh my gosh, his face!
Good because as you can see, I
have
a lot of minis to work on.
I have not watched his videos, so I've not seen his face before.
Click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/pancreasnowork to get 15% off your Raycon.
Okay, that's kind of cool that he's got his like
half the price of other brands, and with my link you can get
the whole thing with it. That's pretty cool.
Spice up how you listen to music, podcasts, and more with Raycon's Everyday Earbuds. Now then, let's talk about where it all began. That's orc spelled with a C, by the way, not a K. But across the board, the greenskins of Warhammer Fantasy aren't that different from the ones in 40k, which is why we're starting with them. They like to fight, they're mushroom people, they're green. If you took an orc from 40k and put him in a greenskin tribe in Fantasy, he probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Might wonder why no one has a decent shooter hanging around, but he'd be content with his life regardless. He might even be happier, because these orcs have characters like Grimgor instead of Ghazghkull. There are no thinking and tactics for Grimgor, only beating everything near him to death. The greenskins used to have some pretty different lore, being closer to D&D than anything else. They had half-orcs, and they didn't reproduce with mushroom spores. Then as time went on, that was moved away from, and eventually we came to where we are now in the old world. That being that the orcs
I think it's because they're scared of women.
When they came to the Warhammer Fantasy
They're scared of women.
More on them later. From there, they naturally began spreading out across the entire world.
And by they, I mean GW, not orcs. Just clarifying.
The old ones and their servants did their best to get rid of the orcs, as they did all other races they weren't quite fond of, but you can't get rid of the orcs once they're on a planet. It's just not possible.
You just
so
can't.
Nowadays, if you wander around a given area long enough, chances are you'll find some greenskins kicking about, making things worse for whoever lives there. The orcs themselves are one of the biggest similarities between the two settings. The biggest guy is in charge of the tribe, and if you get a real big boss, he might be in charge of multiple tribes. And when you get a really big boss, you can get a whole proper WoW going. When this happens, you usually get a whole lot of dead humans and dwarfs. Painting something red still makes it go faster, painting it blue makes it luckier, and can block arrows from killing the blue painted
Incredible,
orc.
I didn't know
and
that
they still
transferred.
love looting. Not nearly as much as in 40k, but you can always find an orc in a tribe wearing dwarf plate armor.
I like this is great.
Great sword he grabbed off a corpse. They do have some more savage brethren who judge other orcs for using things like basic tools or digging a pit to shit in rather than just letting it drop where you stand, but aside from being a bit more magical, those orcs aren't really all that different. Where you get the biggest change, though, is with the goblins. See, in 40k, grots are an entire species of plot irrelevance to the orcs. You'll get one like Makari once in a blue moon who are allowed to be in the shadow of the spotlight of a far more famous orc, but the goblins in fantasy are an actual threat all by themselves. Sure, they're still cowardly and will refuse a stand-up fight unless they outnumber the enemy 40-1. Sure, they're still kicked around by the orcs and are used to do all the manual construction stuff. And sure, they're still slightly smarter than the orcs, so anything resembling any actual construction or research is done by them. But every now and then, not often, but every now and then, you get a goblin who's a cut above the rest. And when that happens, everyone's in trouble. The goblins are cunning little buggers. They know in a straight-up fight they're gonna lose, so they'll wait till the biggest orc around is sleeping and slit his throat, or poison his food, or convince him there's something shiny in a nearby cave filled with hungry trolls. And sometimes, if they're really insane, they'll overdose on literally magic mushrooms, and when they come back to reality, they've slaughtered every orc in charge in a manic frenzy. Now instead of a big green moron who just about knows which way is forward leading the army, you have someone like Skarsnik leading an orc army. A green little Sun Tzu who's gonna run circles around you and your entire military. Or you can get one that pretty much just lucks into the position, like Grom the Paunch, hallowed be his girth. Instead of being clever, he just got incredibly lucky and was forced to eat troll meat. Instead of exploding,
I remember talking about this guy with Sotek.
He just kept growing alongside it. 3 things happened. 1, he got so incredibly fat he'd beat rival orcs by sitting on them. 2, he became a legend among goblins everywhere. The alpha male fantasy they all wish they could be. And 3, he nearly ended the world by sailing from the equivalent of the Middle East or Africa to the middle of the Atlantic and destabilizing the High Elves. If you like grots but wish they could, you know...
No way! That's insane! What the heck? Yeah, that is an absolute eunuch. Holy cow. I wouldn't call him a Chad. I would call him a unit, but I wouldn't call him a Chad.
Do anything important ever? Maybe take a look at the goblins. Their history really isn't anything special though, mostly because they're greenskins and what you see is what you get. Usually, they beat each other up. Every now and again, one of them beats up enough orcs that he convinces them all to go beat someone else up instead. This continues until that war boss is killed, and then the orcs disband and go back to beating each other up again. Some evil dwarfs like to use them as slaves, and when they tried to make bigger, stronger, and smarter orcs to use as slaves, they immediately learned why that was a bad idea.
Don't make
them
the smarter.
Revolted. If you like being mean and green, you'll like the orcs. And one crucial thing I nearly forgot, they love to dance. Wurzag may be the prophet of the orc gods first, but he's a hell of a dancer second. Now let's get out of the realm of similarities and into some things fantasy really does different.
Yes.
When the old ones showed up, the planet they arrived on was ideal for creating the ultimate weapon to fight chaos.
Big chunkers.
Of course, they still had to create it. So to do that, they started by moving the planet closer to the sun to warm it up, which pissed off a lot of things on it, like the dragons. Speaking of, there were a lot of races on the planet that wouldn't really like to share the room with the Old Ones' creations. So to help them with the legwork, as well as get rid of all those fellas, the Old Ones created the Lizardmen. They also created most of the other playable races in the setting, so unless otherwise stated, assume all these factions started out as the test tube babies of the Old Ones in one way or another. The Lizardmen were not this ultimate weapon against chaos, although they were still pretty good at fighting. You know how I said the orcs resisted extermination by the Old Ones? That was just them who managed it. Everyone else fell under a tide of angry lizards, dinosaurs, or angry lizards riding dinosaurs. Okay, so I didn't know that. I thought there was more races that survived, but really just the orcs. That's scary to think about how lethal these guys are then. Small little bit of genociding out of the way, the old ones set about making the world fit their needs. The lizardmen were their chief assistants, and to be the best secretaries they could possibly be, the old ones made them in several different flavors. All of them with a dash of Mesoamerican cultures thrown in, because if you have the option to have Aztec lizard riding dinosaurs, you have no good reason not to take it. First you have the Slan. The Slan are the best wizards in all the world. They may be big fat toad people, but the first generation ones were the ones who changed the entire planet's orbit, moving around where it needed to be in space. Moving down the generational line, they did get weaker, but that's highly relative. Second generation Slan could only cause entire mountain ranges to suddenly appear at the drop of a hat. These were the lizardmen who directly worked with the old ones and delivered their messages and will to the rest of them.
Lizard. 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 Okay, that's enough of that.
Next you have the Saurus. Stupid people might think that since the lizardmen are a Bronze Age civilization at best, they're not much of a threat. Then an 8-foot-tall monster from the Cretaceous period clubs you to death with an obsidian axe, and you find out just how the Saurus were able to depopulate an entire planet. These were the generals of the lizardmen armies. They were bred for war and only war. They're pretty straightforward, and all their characters have the same background of bred to kick ass, but this is Warhammer. That's a feature, not a bug, and they break it down to its simplest possible form. Next are the skinks. They're little chibi gecko axolotl things that do the day-to-day management of lizardmen society. You need a building planned out or to do basic diplomacy, you send the skinks. They're also skirmishers. When the trees start speaking great planese, it's the skinks doing it. They've even got their own god all to themselves, Sotek. It was a bit of a controversy when he came around at first, but the rest of the lizardmen seemed content enough to let him be worshipped. Finally, we have the Croxagores. They're alligator men. They build the buildings and gator death roll all over enemy armies.
That's terrifying.
But that's all they need to do. When chaos first came and the old ones fled, the lizardmen had to figure out how to not only survive, but continue the old ones' work in their absence, which they kind of sort of have been pulling off a little bit. They held off the invasion at the cost of almost all the first Slan and most of their spawning pools, turning them into a very numerically disadvantaged race. Not that this stops them from still sometimes.
Bellius Reinhardt, thank you so much for the 25 gifted subs. Holy cow, thank you so much, man. Okay. All right. Bellius Reinhardt, what would you like me to confess? You get to choose. I gave some examples earlier. Is there anything you would like me to say that's confess to chat? I will confess it. I will confess it. The examples that I gave were my heritage, my height, and a few other things. So that is a reward that you get for your for your choice here. Let me add the other one here. Add the other picture. Where is it? There, we're gonna stick it down here. There we go. Think about it and then get my attention. So if you want something confessed, you want me to say something, well, we'll see how it goes.
Rampaging across the world, but they are largely held up in the jungles of Lustria nowadays, also known as South America, because Warhammer Fantasy is just Earth if someone with really shaky hands drew a map of it. They're isolationists, the Slan will spend centuries at a time meditating on the few plaques the old ones have left, and they really hate when tourists come to Lustria because it's usually to steal those plaques. They're all gold, you see, because gold doesn't tarnish or rust. Convenient for writing things down in a jungle, less convenient when all the warm bloods come to steal the shiny stuff. If you see a lizardman army, you're either screwed because the Great Plan dictates your death, or screwed because you're somewhere they don't think you should be. Very simple faction, but again, that's a positive.
I didn't know that about them.
Dino-brained is the way to go.
Think about it, or
also known as the Imperium, but not as awful. These guys are the default protagonist faction. They're the strongest nation of men in the world.
You're
and that's no
Ultramarines.
Meaningless boast here, because there's actual competition they have in that department, unlike the Imperium. They formed about 2,500 years prior to the setting's modern day, when a pretty cool dude named Sigmar was born. Sigmar had a dream, uniting the scattered tribes of barbarian into one unified nation of mankind.
It's a good dream, I agree.
To drive back the darkness and bring peace to the land. He did this chiefly by beating up everyone who disagreed with him, but in fairness, most of them deserved it. If this sounds familiar,
Anonymous, thank you for the 5 gift subs. I hope... Well, thank you so much. I don't know... I don't know how you'll get your rewards later, depending on what you've added up. But thank you. Thank you so much, man. That means we hit our second... That means we hit our second milestone. I think I have underestimated chat. I think I have underestimated chat. So we just hit our second goal, which is you guys get to pick a new redeem. So on the server later, I will put up a chat room so we can discuss what the new redeem will be. I'll put that on my to-do list. So you guys get to pick a new redeem. Thank you very much, Anonymous Gifter, for giving us over that. The Sigmar mask is a global emote. Yes, use it. If there was a vehicle named after you in Warhammer 40k, what type of vehicle would it be? What sort of armor and armaments would it have? Well, thank you. Velius, I will answer that question. That wasn't what I was meaning when I was saying confess something. It was more like you were gonna tell me, hey, I would say something like, here's an example. So here, you'll get it for free. Like, I confess, I'm actually an Eldar. That is what I was going for, but I will answer your question. What type of if I was going to have a vehicle named after you, so it'd be a tank. It'd be a tank, and it would be like Tempris pattern, like a Bane blade or something like that. I lost so much money. What do you mean? No, I would say I would say it would be like a Bane blade or a tank that is not as big as a Bane blade. I said it. No, it was an example. You have to clip it with the context. I didn't say I was a Dark Eldar. Tempris pattern, all flamers and meltas, but he said vehicle. Did he say vehicle or weapon? Vehicle. No. Well, see, that doesn't have to be the confession, Reinhardt. You can pick a separate confession. I was giving it as an example. If there was something you wanted me to say, I would say it. And then it could get clipped, and then I would be in trouble forever. You think about it, and then I will I will say it. All right, we'll go back a second.
Let me just...
Oh. Emperor of Mankind coded right here.
To drive back the darkness and bring peace to the land. He did this chiefly by beating up everyone who disagreed with him, but in fairness, most of them deserved it.
Yes.
If this sounds familiar, let me just remind you that this guy was here first. Plus, Sigmar realized that outright killing everyone just because they disagree with you is perhaps a bad idea that will lead to problems later down.
I agree with him 100%. 100%.
Down the line, so he settled for only beating them up. Sigmar didn't just beat up people, though. He also beat up a lot of orcs. Like, a whole lot of orcs.
Very based.
So many orcs that the dwarfs swore eternal friendship with mankind, because if Sigmar is so kick-ass, surely the rest of humanity can't be that bad either. He united most of the tribes of man in the area.
Incredible.
And you better believe I'll come back to the most later, and formed the Empire of Man. 50 years later, he just up and left. A little bit after that, he became a god, and the Empire soon worshipped Sigmar as the chief god of their pantheon. The Empire is pretty unique as far as fantasy factions go.
Pretty based.
Usually a fantasy setting will reach the medieval era, and then very explicitly never move past that for the next trillion years of its history. The Empire isn't like that. When Sigmar was doing his thing, it was barely the Iron Age. The dwarfs giving them steel weapons every now and then was considered the height of technological advancement. Nowadays, 2,500 years later, the Empire has tanks. Good tanks? Yeah. Look, for a Renaissance age civilization, tanks are pretty damn impressive no matter how good they actually are. They have factories, mechanical horses, and countless other things that make you wonder if the book you're reading was put in the fantasy section by mistake. They also have wizards who scam people out of $50 for the thrill of it, politicians who constantly need to be wrangled by the one competent guy in the entire government, and enough floppy hats to arm the entire Holy Roman Empire with. They're still normal people, though. The three things that make the Empire great aren't genetically modified super soldiers, or lost technological secrets from a golden age, or even the direct intervention of their gods.
All right, we have it. It is now, it has been officially asked of me. I must confess my heritage. All right. All right, I must confess. I have been lying to all of you. I am not an abhuman, but I am, in fact, an Eldar. There, did you get that? 23andMe incoming. No, just because I say something doesn't mean it's canon. Just because I said that doesn't mean it's canon. No, I had to say that. It's part of the goals. Don't worry, someone's gonna clip it and post it in the Discord, and then they're gonna post it on probably Twitter. It's super canon. Yeah, see, GW saying something doesn't mean it's canon. I mean, that's also facts. That's also facts. You're a VTuber, of course you're a Dark Eldar? What? What about me says Dark Eldar? Except Gothrelia. Gothrelia is definitely suspicious at best.
Faiths.
Why does it do that? I don't like that. There, I'm backing it up so we can get back to it. It's too late, elf.
People, though. The three things that make the Empire great aren't genetically modified super soldiers, or lost technological secrets from a golden age, or even the direct intervention of their gods. It's faith, steel, and gunpowder. A whole lot of each. Give a man a halberd, a cause to fight for, and his friends by his side, and it turns out you can push back even the most determined of evil murder Vikings time and time again.
This is true.
Most Warhammer fantasy books follow the Imperial
I do like
characters
that.
around.
It's very like Guardsman-esque.
You get a good feel for just how fleshed out this land is through them. You've got the Heartlands, sure, places like Altdorf where it's interconnected with the wider world, magic runs through the very city through its colleges of magic, and elves and dwarfs can be seen regularly. Then you have backwater shitholes like Ostermark, where the people are outnumbered by everything nearby that wants to kill them, and guns are still a scary black magic invention for a good half the population.
Oh, wow.
Or Averland, whose most noticeable trait is that they hunt halflings for sport there. There's halflings in the Empire, by the way. They can vote on the next emperor because they baked a previous one a really good meal. They also had a civil war over pie. Don't be a halfling in Averland. You're gonna decorate someone's mantelpiece.
Civil war over pie.
Of course, this is still Warhammer, fantasy or not. Sure, I said it's not as awful as the Imperium, but it still has
bad.
witch hunters who will burn you alive for being a wizard or being a mutant.
I'm hungry
or just
for my
being
pie
too
too.
Ugly, because that's also a sign of chaos mutation. And it's still a Renaissance age civilization. For 90% of people, this means it's a medieval civilization, but you might see more pretty statues and paintings than your ancestors did. You're still probably gonna die of the water making you poop too much. They're bordered by the undead, beastmen are everywhere once you leave the city limits, and worst of all, they have people who have sex with horses for neighbors. The Empire is constantly on...
Do they really like their horses that much? Do they really like their horses that much, chat? Centaurs exist. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. I didn't know that was a meme about Bretonia. Oh my gosh. I don't know too much about Warhammer, but I just heard Sanguinius' speech at the Eternity Gate and my testosterone skyrocketed. It is honestly, that'll put hair on your chest and tears in your eyes. Oh gosh. You know, I know I just took the test and it says I was Bretonia, but let me just clarify that I would never do such a terrible thing as that. You could not pay me enough. Could not pay me enough, and my dignity would not allow it. Yeah, I think that's all I really need to say. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. What? Anyways.
The defense. From orcs, from chaos, from beastmen, which are a different kind of chaos, and really anyone else who's feeling a bit bored that day. But the average citizen of the Empire will do their part to keep the hordes at bay, and at the end of the day, they did this for 2,500 years until the authors decided reality itself had to go, which is a pretty good track record. They're a human, relatable nation,
good to go.
like if the Imperial Guard got to actually be the main characters of 40k instead of Space Marine 9001, model on sale now for $60. It's grounded, with people having normal struggles, but also fantastical, with wizards and monsters being everywhere.
They do have
one ultimate ace in the hole, though. The reigning emperor, Karl Franz. The best statesman in the old world, the guy who wields the Warhammer. You know the one, the actual real-life Warhammer logo. That's his, and he's very good at using it.
Yes.
He's the kind of politician who could convince you into giving him everything you own and leave you thinking you got the better deal, but also the kind of person who wouldn't do that to you. He's got everyone's interest at heart.
He's a very
and
chill
overall,
dude.
This guy's the best emperor in Warhammer. Not Warhammer Fantasy, Warhammer in general. Kiss my ass, corpse worshippers. This one can walk, talk, and beat you to death in the name of the Empire. If you like relatable folk with a touch of the fantastic,
fair enough, I accept this.
Have your back. But I did say most tribes are united by Sigmar. Unfortunately, a couple weren't able to be integrated for one reason or another. Let's talk about the one that I like first.
Oh, Kislev.
Kislev is all of Eastern Europe thrown into a pot and mixed to boiling until it coagulated into one Slavic specialty stew. They live in a frozen hellhole, which is also their country's greatest defense. They wear thick fur pelts.
Yep.
They have winged hussars. They also squat in the middle of a battlefield, because such is the natural state of the Kislevite. And vodka. Even the dwarfs and their genetically ingrained alcoholism respect the drinking skills of a Kislevite. Kislev's job in the setting is to face tank chaos invasions before they get to the Empire of Man, which they do pretty well. Half their cities are torn down in the process, but they're a hardy bunch.
That's
they walk
pretty
into
rough,
the winter
though.
snow, and when everyone occupying their land freezes to death, come back in and rebuild. Their religion is different from the Empire's, and they view them as weak Southerners, but the two nations are still staunch allies. Mostly because when the forces of actual hell are your neighbors, anyone else is going to be a good friend. They're led by the Tsar or Tsarina of Kislev, because GW was worried you wouldn't understand which region this place is based off of. Many times, and indeed the last one before the world blew up, this was an ice witch, a handy person to have running your country when a raging blizzard is considered a mild day. You still can't play as Kislev in the old world, thank you GW for that extreme blue balling, but they had some pretty heavy redesigns.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
For the old world did at one point feature Kislev. Here's hoping GW realizes that winged hussars riding bears is something people are interested in. Shame that sentence needs to be said.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement with that. Like, how in the world do people not, like... How do they not know? It's so cool. Like, this is not my favorite faction, but this is so cool. Come on.
Anyone would ever need to be told that. Blat. These are those people who have sex with horses. When Sigmar was uniting everyone, they refused to join him, because obviously they were too good to join him. Did they have some super special magical secret, or a technology that could let them surpass the fledgling empire, or some other ace in the hole? No, but they copied the elves' homework and our French, so they decided they were too good to shack up with a future god and went it alone. Britonia looked at all the cool advancements
does look very similar to the High Elf.
How it was a dynamic nation in a genre that usually gets to the
Red-tailed wolf, you heard exactly that. You heard exactly that.
Cool advancements the Empire was making, how it was a dynamic nation in a genre that usually gets to the medieval era and then freezes like it's going into cryo-sleep, and said no. We will not be doing that. We will be staying as medieval land. It is mandated by the government that technology will not advance, that society will never have any major upheavals, and that everything is just perfect the way it is. It's like that old decree the Pope made that declared crossbows were a blasphemous weapon, taken to be an entire society's philosophy.
That's a
Britonia
thing?
is all about knights.
A Pope said
Baby
that?
knights proving themselves, magical knights defending the realm and saving damsels, knights leading the country to further the goals and interests of the rest of the knights. Imagine
I like
King
saving
Arthur.
damsels.
That's it. Just imagine King Arthur stretched out to be a whole faction. The in-universe justification is that they saw high elf cavalry and just ran with the concept. Out of universe, it's just King Arthur and every medieval stereotype thrown together.
Pretty
you could
much, yeah.
admittedly say the same thing about the Empire and the Holy Roman Empire, or Kislev in Eastern Europe, but those are eras and places fantasy writers don't usually copy wholesale, so they get a pass from me. Britonia is the land of almost every fantasy setting ever conceived since Lord of the Rings, and it shows. Unfortunately, they can afford to do all of this fantasy stasis, because an elf goddess is playing them like a fiddle. Their luscious Lady of the Lake, also
she
known
is
as
an
the
elf.
goddess of magic, chooses some super special knights to become Grail Knights. They sip from her chalice of bathwater, and when the now Grail Knight emerges, they're like supercharged D&D paladins.
Wait, chat. I thought you guys were joking. I thought you were joking. I mean, I know he's being facetious and calling it the bathwater, but I thought you guys were just being... I thought you guys were just messing with me. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm not into that. So let me put it bluntly. Not into sipping people's bathwater. Or fun times with horses. Neither of those things reflect my personality. Why not? Why not? Have you tried it? No. No. Why? You shouldn't even ask me that question. You should just know that. Oh my gosh. Why do you think the Fey Enchantress is barefoot? I'm just okay. We're just gonna keep going, okay?
Bullets are an inconvenience, their armor is magically toughened, and their mounts never tire. So until the Empire invents the Gatling gun, they're able to keep being aggressive backwater dickweeds.
This is so bad. Just hearing their mounts never tire. My mind is so messed up now. Thank you for this, guys. Thank you for this.
They were tolerable, but in modern war, someone must have felt they weren't angsty enough and made them nice and extra oppressive. The peasants are honored if the noble allows them to have 3 pennies a week instead of 2. Ladies who aren't magical are property because medieval times, and social mobility is a punchline. I hope you like medieval medicine.
I'm kidding.
The Empire's medicine already isn't that great. Bretonnian medicine is the kind of thing that has a 300% fatality rate. And horses. Everyone has a horse. Even the lowliest peasants have a horse. A horse that more often than not eats and lives better than they do. I like horses, but I don't like them that much.
Yeah, I was gonna say, horses are expensive. That means a peasant who owns a horse, like, they're gonna pay more to, like, feed their horse than themselves.
If you've ever been to medieval times and made that your entire personality, Bretonnia is a good faction for you. Because God is real and hates me, they're also one of the starter factions of the old world, so getting into Warhammer Fantasy nowadays is pound for pound fairly easily done with Bretonnia. In all honesty, pick them if you like them. It is on some level cool, because for as much shit as I was giving them for being generic and bland knights, knights are cool. There's a reason every 5-year-old wants to be a knight and not a Landsknecht. I mean, for God's sakes, just trying to say that word is difficult. The other Army GW has refused to put onto the tabletop, despite already having a direct hand in reworking.
See, this is an example. It's already been updated since then. They are now on the tabletop. They have minis. I think pre-orders just happened. So, see, it's only been a year and things are already different. Their models, gorgeous.
Them for Total War.
Gorgeous.
Did you know there's a fully fleshed out Cathayan army book for GW developed? You can't have it because funds not allowed. This is a shame because Cathay is awesome. Dragons are also awesome.
Yes.
Cathay agrees because they're ruled by immortal dragons who the Cathayans follow at every whim. Fantasy China is a magical place and one of the few places in the entire planet that might not be a terrible one to live in. Every now and again, it does what actual China used to do and implodes, and sure, those ruling dragons get along like all siblings do, i.e. barely at all. But in day-to-day life, not a bad place. And it always comes back together after imploding, usually after Mommy and Daddy Dragon come back to kick everyone's heads in until they start behaving again. It is, like I said...
Well, I will say, I think once you kind of grow up, everyone, like your siblings usually, unless it's really bad, usually you get along. Usually you get along after you've all grown up. Mao Ying, yes, she's great.
Said just fantasy medieval China, but that is a compliment. You know those terracotta soldiers?
They're
what
cool.
if they were animated by magic and also 100 feet tall? Are you a 40K fan? Imagine if the Primarchs weren't utter morons and failures almost to a man. Because that's Cathay. Again, for reasons I will never understand, we don't have them yet in tabletop. But Total War does, and by God is it fun to play as Cathay. The Silk Road was prosperous in real life, and it's prosperous in Warhammer. So if/when they finally come out, prepare to show the world why China was for a good 1,000 years the most prosperous country on the planet. It's even better here because this Great Wall has magical dragon ladies guarding it. Oh, Cathay is also near the countries of Nippon, Ind, and Koresh. Nippon is Japan, Ind is India, and Koresh is Southeast Asia. I'm not giving them their own spots because no one cares about them, and I can't bring myself to either. That's it for the non-chaotic living humans, but that doesn't mean we're done talking about humans. The next few ones just don't have a heartbeat. Or skin. These are the bad guys when chaos has taken a break. Imagine Dracula, if you will. Now imagine Dracula if he had a 100,000 strong army of zombies, skeletons, lesser vampires,
but I like
and pretty much anything
Dracula
else that you
from
could find in
Castlevania.
a
He's
Halloween.
pretty cool,
The total
though.
history of the vampires stretches back thousands of years, but for the purposes of this video, we're only going to go back a few hundred. We go to a fella named Vlad von Karstein, because if you haven't caught on yet, this setting is allergic to subtlety. He showed up to
Okay, but like, he's a married man, and I kind of like that for him.
very on-the-nose Empire province of Sylvania, which was a horrible place to live. It was covered in swamps, the people were dumb and afraid of scary monsters, and because this setting is what it is, they weren't even wrong to be so. When a peasant in real life says the witch made their family ill with the plague, it's baseless superstition. When a peasant in Warhammer says that, there's a good chance they're right. When a Sylvanian peasant says that, they are right. Vlad shows up to this province, marries the daughter of the ruling noble to become its next ruler, and despite being a blood-sucking vampire, this place sucked so hard it was a marked improvement. Even better, him and his wife Isabella actually loved each other. They had vampire kids like Conrad von Karstein, who is insane and liked to twist the heads off of peasants, and Manfred von Karstein, who is the worst.
Do.
Of course, this wouldn't be Warhammer if everyone was just nice and peaceful, so one day Vlad had a brilliant idea. What if he was the emperor? He could live forever and usher in an eternal age of prosperity. Mostly for vampires,
yeah,
but
I was
for
gonna
some
say,
of the
not
people
for
too.
humans.
So he tried to become the emperor. At gunpoint. Zombie point more like, but 100,000 zombies is a lot more effective than most Renaissance age guns were. He failed, but the damage was done. Him, his wife, and their children spread vampirism across the empire. Now Sylvania is barely even considered a part of it, and everyone does their best to ignore it. This is probably a bad move, because every few decades some vampire likes to try their hand at raising a massive undead army to take over the empire with. They all fail, but they're very
I know, they're
murderous.
happy together.
Them
It's
failing
kinda
means the
sweet,
empire's
like,
population
honestly.
only drops by 20% instead of 100%. Just watch the first episode of Castlevania if you somehow haven't, for what it's like when the Midnight Aristocracy goes to war. There's a lot of vampires to choose from, though, to get your specific undead needs satisfied. The von Karsteins are the classic vampires, who want to suck your blood and rule over the night. The Lamians are a vampire KGB, with spy networks in pretty much every place on the planet.
Oh.
Except Lustria, probably.
I always thought for the vampires there was just only the one kind with the von Karsteins. At least that's what I thought from like Total War. I didn't realize there were different flavors of vampire.
Don't take kindly to that sort of thing. The Strigoi are what happens if your average Florida resident became a vampire, the Necrox are evil wizards, and the Blood Dragons are a heavy metal album cover. If you thought it was kick-ass when Dracula sent the forces of hell to wreak havoc on the living, you'll love the vampire counts. But I did mention that some of the undead don't have skin, and vampires usually have that at least. For those fellas, we need to go further south.
The Tomb
Ancient
Kings.
Egypt.
These guys
Ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt.
I love their
You
vibe.
now understand the basics of the Tomb Kings. Once upon a time, thousands of years in the past, the lands of Nehekara were prosperous. They had regular contact with their gods, magical constructs to defend themselves with, and when they had a good king like Setra, they would sometimes go on to conquer half the world. Then a fella named Nagash was born. He's awful. This man was a monster through and through. He's really smart,
He gives
though.
me
Smart enough
Erebus
to capture
vibes.
dark elves and force them to teach him dark magic, which usually humans can't do. Smart enough to invent necromancy with what he learned. Smart enough to overthrow his brother, the king, and take over most of the land with his undead forces.
So
and
he's
also
very
quite powerful
smart.
with
Wow.
his magic. He was eventually overthrown and cast into the desert where he died, but he invented necromancy. Death is a suggestion for him. Such is his power. When he inevitably came back, he discovered someone had stolen his research notes and used them to make vampires. He made those vampires his generals, and no, they didn't have a choice in the matter, and then decided ruling just Nehekara with undead wasn't enough. So he formed a plan to kill everyone in the region
wishes
at
he was
once,
Nagash.
resurrect every corpse on the planet, and take over the world with his World War Z undead army. part 1 of the plan went off without a hitch. It was only through the intervention of the Skaven, who I promise you will love, and the last living dude in the region, which kept most of part 2 from happening. Then everyone in Nehekara promptly stood back up, realized their hearts were no longer beating but they were still standing, and things got messy. Imagine Game of Thrones before it became horrible, with all the political fighting over who gets to be king. Now imagine Game of Thrones if every single person who was ever the rightful king was now alive at the same time fighting over what was their throne. Not they believed it to be their throne, or they wanted it to be their throne, it was the throne they sat on once upon a time.
Yeah.
And also they can respawn.
No, that's crazy.
And also, most common people were mindless undead skeletons who had the flesh flee from their bones with the desert
because then you'd have fathers and sons fighting each other.
Follow basic orders, like kill that guy who thinks he's the real king. This does not a stable nation make. Luckily, the priest woke up that Cetra guy, who cockslapped everyone until they started behaving again. Now the Tomb Kings no longer have skin, have no clear path to achieve immortal bodies to feel with again that they so crave, and no longer have the backing of their very gods. Fortunately for them, death is more of a suggestion. They can still use magic, even if not quite as good as it was when the gods were helping, and they now have eternity to do whatever they want, as long as it doesn't involve some sort of physical
but this is kind of cool.
Sometimes they still fight amongst each other, sometimes they spend their newfound immortality pursuing whatever hobbies they want, and sometimes they sail all the way from Egypt to Sweden and burn half of it to the ground because someone stole their hat. And on the rarest of occasions, a tomb queen will tell a strapping young lad that if they still had functional genitals, she'd fuck him so hard the experience would kill him. They're
I need to know. I need a quote for this. I need, that was in the book. I believe you. I believe you. Oh my gosh. No, don't volunteer for that. Oh my gosh, no. You're gonna turn into, oh wait, hang on. Hang on, you're gonna turn into, hang on, wait, where is it? No, where's the meme? You're gonna turn into this. Hang on. I would like to save the image. Save image. No, stop. I hate these web files. They're so irritating. Like, can't you just give me a JPEG? Give me a JPEG. Okay. Ignore the additional like all the extra stuff that's on top of this. If you give in to that, which I don't recommend. Hang on. 1 second. I have to crop it. You're gonna look, oh no. Cropped it too hard. You're gonna look like that guy. You will turn into a Tomb King. That's what it made me think of. Like, he would die from it and he gets all shriveled up like a mummy. No, it's not worth it. No, guys. You can't fix her. She's dead. You can't fix her. That's messed up. No. That's terrible. No, don't do that. Don't do that to yourselves. No. That's so bad.
Very fun. They're true neutral to the core. Some of them want conquest, some of them just want to find new hobbies, some hate the living out of jealousy, some don't care either way as long as they serve, and some go out of their way to—
Some of you guys, it's crazy how many of you are like, yes, I would. What does she look like? What does she look like? And like, do we have an idea of what she would look like if she was like... Does it matter? I feel like it does. I feel like it does. Thank you, Dino Fan, for the 25 more gift subs. Bro. Thank you, man. Oh my gosh. Bruh, what? Dino the Legend, may the queen take you as a consort. No, Dino Fan, don't go into the light. Don't go into the light. But what would you like me to confess, Dino Fan? What am I confessing today? We can fix her or go to Valhalla. No. Redtail Wolf, thank you for the bits. No, you can't. You can't fix that. You can't fix crazy. I mean, I can understand the appeal in a woman wanting you so bad. Willing to give up everything, but that's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You're terrible. All right. Chat. I have a confession to make. I like pineapple on pizza. It's true. Pineapple on pizza is so good. There, are you happy? You're happy? That's horrible. That's horrible. I was thinking you guys would just make fun of me. No, you're actually making me say terrible things. How do I take back myself? No! No! I can't blame you though. Pineapple on pizza. Some in YouTube are saying based. I can't fix her. She can make me worse, so that's okay with me. I mean, yes, she'll make you worse permanently. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Paratrooper Dylan. I don't think I can watch this anymore. I can't. I don't blame you. I don't blame you, man. Look at how low. Pineapple on pizza is good, and I say this as a Canadian. Does, like, being a Canadian give you, like, extra, like, authority on pizzas? I assumed, like, if it was, like, an Italian thing. Oh my gosh. That was a terrible thing to say. See, chat, those are the examples of, like, the things. Wow. Pineapple on pizza was invented in Canada? Really? And I assumed pizza was Italian. You invented it. Yeah, that's a war crime, and Canadians are very good at committing war crimes. I've done my research. And thank you, Too Bright, for the 16 months of support. Dude, at tier 2 as well. Oh my gosh, dude, thank you. What the heck, man? Yeah, Geneva suggestions. That is how Canada operates. Huh. I did not know that. I guess the United States has to take over Canada at some point. You guys have to pay for this atrocity. This atrocity. Pizza is Italian, but ham is also called Canadian bacon and is often paired with pineapple. Yeah, I knew that part. I knew that one, that pineapple and ham. Subathon, more like heresython. Oh gosh. What's the sub count? It is 127. It is 127. The next one is at 150. Yes, 150. You guys also invented the California roll, like the sushi California roll? Huh. Oh, thank you, Red Tail, for the 20 subs. What was 150? Oh no, it's the right tweet. Oh no. Oh, for the 25 subs. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I'm so concerned. So let's see, it's 152 now. All right. Shadow, what are you doing? Shadow, you're one of my mods. What the heck, man? Ooh. Bro, what the heck? Dude, you're one of my mods. You did... Oh my my gosh, Shadow! Holy cow, man! What? Thank you, dude. What the heck? I am at a loss for words. Holy cow, man. Bro, Shadow. I guess we have some confessions we gotta get to now. Absolute movement. Click on a stream on the homepage. Immediately reminded that Hawaiian pizza exists. Stay rude. I'm so sorry. They made me confess that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we just hit the next 2 goals. Dude. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Shadow. What the heck? What? Okay. Okay, I can say that. Okay. That's fair. Okay. Okay, chat. And I hope you guys know I will be serious for every single one, even if I don't believe it. Chat, I have a confession. I've been lying to you. I've been lying to you about my favorite Primarch. I actually think Sanguinius is mid and overrated. He is so mid. There you go. There you go. Are you happy? Are you happy now? Are you happy now? Let me update the picture. Let me update the picture now. With the wow. I'm stunned. So we have 2 that we just crossed off the list. And I'm going to crop it now so we can get that to fit. So bad. Okay, we're gonna crop that. There, you guys can still read that. Okay, good. Good, you guys can still read that. So now we have a tweet that we need to write. So which Primarch do you want me to build a replacement husbando? No, I don't want that. The count now is 252 subs. Holy moly. My second favorite is Lionel Johnson. I feel like we should write the tweet here. Should we write the tweet here and now? Oh my gosh. Okay. So oh, wait, no, Redtail didn't do his confession. Redtail Wolf, do you also have a confession? And thank you Shady Spinach for the bits. Yeah, do you have a confession? Let's get this over with. You don't have to give more bits for that. Thank you though. I already said this, but I'll say it again. Redtail Wolf. And Shadow, thank you for 4 more subs, dude. What the? Are you keeping the hype train going? Is that what that is? That's 256 now. Okay, fine. I will say the next. Oh, it's the new record. I didn't know that. I wasn't even paying attention to the hype train. This is the record for our hype train? I had no clue. I can definitely read. All right, it's time for the confession. All right, I must confess. Chat, I must be honest with you. I have been an elf this whole time. It's true. I'm not an abhuman, but I'm actually an elf. I hope you can forgive me. Every time Aurelia says she's an elf, the ears seem to get longer. That would be funny. That would be really funny if I did that for the next model. Like Pinocchio. He said elf, so I went off with elf. Can she read? Sometimes I can read. Sometimes I can read. Sometimes I'm capable of it. Other times, not so much. Just messages like, yes, we know. Oh, Mickey, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. Adding my... Okay, I don't think I have any more. There's new J art on the Discord. Oh no. Wow. This is incredible. Oh my gosh, he did this so fast. Jay, can we get a little shout out for Jay, please? He's one of the resident artists who has decided he is just going to make a lot of art just for the fun of it. And he has decided to commit violence today. We're so off topic. I apologize. This is not where I was expecting things to go. One second. This is what he made. I don't know when he started this. Probably when we were talking about the Santa Claus bit earlier. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Hype train goes burr. Thanks. Thank you, Kuiper. Thank you, Kuiper. No, that's not my new model. Please, no. No, I couldn't do it. That's not my new model. Oh my gosh. Man, he knows how to make the art, and he knows how to make it fast. Oh. Dude, oh my gosh. Alright. That's going away now. Winter outfit, do it for the labs. We'll see. Be a Keebler elf next. We'll see. We'll see. Remember, I said I wasn't, my schedule for December is very much up in the air. So if I have time, maybe I will make a note. I'm writing it down right now. Keebler elf. There you go. I wrote it down. The evidence keeps piling up. I can't even say it's under duress. I can't even say it's under duress. You don't let him show real pics of you like that. Vtuber face reveal. Vtuber real life job confirmed. Oh, the tweet. The tweet. Okay. So what are we doing for the tweet? Yes. Guys, guys, how am I supposed to come up with new ideas? Thank you so much, Nova 42341, for the 100 gift subs. What would you like me to confess? And I will send you guys all of the files and stuff once I get the stuff, the Steve and the and Mickey's, thank you again, man, for the other 5. I'm scared that you're gonna ask for a confession soon. Dude, okay, okay. I'm so glad I'm taking notes. I'm gonna need so many notes. No. No! No! Okay. Chat. I have a confession. Do you guys know Lorgar, the Primarch? I think he's incredibly based. I think he's so cool. Just the best. There you go. There you go. Even I'm cringing at that one. It's bad. It's so bad. And Dino the Fan, thank you for the 5 gift subs. I cannot keep track of all of these. I will... Wait, did I? Yes, okay, I can do math. I am capable of the math. I'm gonna have to do a lot of math after this stream. I think this is turning more into an Aurelia confession stream than a fantasy lore stream. Yeah. This has to be rage bait. Well, yeah, I told them I would confess whatever they wanted me to. And here we are. I get to confess heretical things, heretical takes. Incredibly heretical takes. Oh, do I need to move our... Wait. Did I adjust? I did. Okay. Good. Confessing means you believe it, so... But it's not. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just don't read into it. Don't read into it. The misinformation is being spread. Yes. Yes. Yes, finally. Will we get to the tweet? I don't think at this point we're ever going to get to write this tweet. The tweet. What will we say? Tweet idea, I divorce Sanguinius. No. Yes, it is, it's this, the barking toad. Don't worry about the toad. I see that Sister Aurelia may need to do a few deployments with the Repentia after this. Yes, absolutely, at this point. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, Bard. There's not enough people backing you up. Tweet, say I'm having Sanguinius' kid. Do you know how many people would be upset by that? Dude, you'll get the lore buffs mad. You'll get them so mad at me. They're... Oh no. Saying I'm pregnant is wild. Oh my gosh, that would be... That's wild, man. Cha-Cha would lose it. Shadow, you keep thank you for the 3 gift subs. You keep pushing the hype train up. I appreciate it. Oh, you think you have a tweet? Okay, so, okay, should we go with that? It's so close. Sanguinius, more like Sangon. Okay, so are we doing that? Are we committing to that one? Or is it too much? I'm gonna yell at Twitch, be back in 10,000 years. We're doing it. Make a poll. What? Okay, we'll make the poll. I'll make the poll. New poll. I'm gonna make it... Oh, hang on. I have to keep it. I'm limited. Okay. There, I've started the poll. Oh, I think I kept it for too long. There you go. So your options are, do we make the joke about having Sanguinius's kid or something else? Something else. Because there weren't many other suggestions, and I don't want to put the divorce one out there. That one makes me sad. That one makes me sad. Aurelia, Tempris, Mary stream, let's go. I actually had one back last June. Do the Adam Driver meme. Every day I wake up and I remember Sanguinius isn't real. Okay. There is a concern if GW sees it, but like, I've seen people draw their original characters with other Primarchs. So I don't think they'd be so mad. If I said I was like like I was a representative of GW, which I'm not, then I would get in trouble. Aurelia is already the Blood Angel soccer mom. Jay, make the art. Okay. I vote for the chaos. Sanguinius, you're not the father. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's so bad. That's so bad. We can't do that. No, we can't. I am loyal. I am 100% loyal. Oh my gosh. He did go get milk on the vengeful spirit, but he would have come back. He would have come back, I promise. This is all just become absolutely insane. Oh no. Okay, so that's the tweet we are going to make. 1 second. Okay, let me pull up the Twitter. All right. We're gonna put it here. There we go, I can see it better. Okay. It's time for me to make a post. So, so what am I gonna say? I don't. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it. Did we just full send and say I'm having Sanguinius's kid? Do I use the word pregnant? Like what is I have news. I'm having Sanguinius's baby. And thank you for everyone who contributed to the hype train. I have never gotten that high of a hype train. Taro, don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. But this is a tweet. Bro. This is so cursed. Oh my gosh. This has actually made my day. I'm so happy. Okay. I have news. I am pregnant with Sanguinius's baby. Is that what we're going with? Don't worry, Connor. I guarantee you someone clipped it out of context. Okay. This is the most... I thought the last one was bad. Pregnant has to be misspelled. It does. What about pregananant? Like the meme video. Or is it pregnant? Pregnant? I accept pregnant. Pergante. Oh no. So, okay, so what is the official spelling we are going with here? Pregananant. I like pregananant. Pregananant. Did I spell that right? Pregananant. How many N's is in that? I'm looking at Nova's. Preg-an, ant. Preg-an, ant. Yes, there we go. Yeah, she is going to... If she sees my messages, she may be going to bed already, but good luck explaining this to people. Yep. All right, I'm posting it. It has been posted. Okay, it's posted. Alrighty. Should we get back to the video? Should we get back to the video? Congrats, Captain. Yeah, no problem, guys. No, thank you. I'm so touched. I still can't. What video? I know, right? Just saw the tweet. When is the baby shower? Thank you, Red Wolf. Should also include a positive pregnancy test picture. Oh, I didn't think about that. Next time. Next time. Do we need to get gifts? No, you don't need to get gifts. You're fine. What's the name of the baby? Well, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Oh, gosh. The test was positive. The baby has wings. Oh, gosh. Oh. Do they need a chicken coop? I don't know. I should have asked Sanguinius what the bed situation was like when he was younger. Oh my gosh. I have never in my life ever written a tweet like that. Oh my gosh. Your little angel is so good. I'm like, oh, okay, well that's kind of sweet though. I'm calling it twins. Oh no, 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 no. Oh. Anyways, should we continue? I gotta calm down. This is just so I don't even know how this is gonna unfold on Twitter. Hopefully it just stays within my circle. Oh, Deadman Zach, thank you so much for the 5 subs. Oh, thank you, man. Oh, hear me out, Aurelia. Triplets. No! Why? 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 Why would you do that? Important question. Would a kid grow Primarch size or would it be elf size? Like, when you say elf, you mean like abhuman size, right? I don't know. Maybe somewhere in between? Maybe somewhere in between? May your tweet go viral, Aurelia. I hope not. Because if it goes viral, that means a lot of people are not going to be happy with me. I would say it's somewhere in the middle. I would say it's somewhere in the middle in terms of the size. So it's going to be like a large baby. This was an unexpected turn of events. I never would have expected it. I can't. Will someone who has a Twitter account take a screenshot and post it in the Discord so Ryan can see it? I promise I did post it. I did post it, and I have... Oh, I already have like 10 notifications. Oh no. I looked a second ago. Oh no, other VTubers are straight up responding to it already. What the heck? No, there's another VTuber that already responded. What the... Oh no. Oh gosh. Okay. All right. Okay. Was it Bao? No. Oh gosh. If Bao ever responded to one of my tweets, that would be incredible. No, Bao does not follow me. It's easy to respond quick when you're watching. There you are, Lilith. Thank you. I was like, oh my gosh, how? Okay. All right. I will respond to those later. We're going to continue this. Oh my. Okay. Okay. Let us continue. We were talking about Tomb Kings, and we were talking about you can't fix her. This is very on theme for a Pancreas no work video. Super Orlock, I don't know what to say to that. I haven't seen too many of his videos, but I know they're good. When I make the VOD for this, I will trim this whole section out. This is huge. Whew. Okay. All right, let me back it up. Man. Yeah, I don't know if we will have... We will see if we react to another video tonight. If not, we can... I think we'll have time on Friday after we build our mini to watch more stuff. But I also need to get a chicken pot pie tonight, so I gotta go to the store. That is critical. All right.
Find human...
We're gonna back it up about... We're gonna back it up to here. Are we nearly done with the subs thing? We already hit 250. There is another... There are other goals. They're like there's 2 regular ones, and then there's a bunch of stretch goals, but like, I honestly have no clue. I have no clue. When are the short story readings? On the 30th. 30th. All right. I got this. I can power through.
Functional genitals, she'd fuck him so hard the experience would kill him. They're very fun. They're true neutral to the core. Some of them want conquest, some of them just want to find new hobbies, some hate the living out of jealousy, some don't care either way as long as they serve, and some go out of their way to find human members to recruit for their court because it reminds them of what they've lost. If you can think of a motivation, there's a Tomb King that has it. It's a very simple thing to know if the Tomb Kings are for you or not. Do you like the Mummy? Do you like ancient Egypt? Have you ever wondered what it'd be like if the Sphinx came to life and started crushing people like Godzilla? Tomb Kings are perfect for you.
That is pretty cool, I won't lie.
And hey, look at that. They're the other starter faction for the old world. Now you can get into fantasy proper without people like me dismissively calling you a horse molester. So now we can leave this region of the world and indeed humanity, and I have forgotten 4 human nations that deserve at least a little bit of credit. Shit. Tylea is Italy during medieval/Renaissance times, so it's thousands of city-states smushed into one country. It's right next to the Skaven capital.
Mummy
there
goes
are worse
hard.
places to
Oh
live.
gosh,
Estalia
no.
is Spain without the colonial empire. Both of these places say they're the first civilized nation in the old world, which the empire disputes. The border princes are the land of whatever the hell you want it to be. It is an excuse to make your own homebrew army, and they fight orcs more than anything. Most of the people there are either fleeing from the empire, leaving the empire in a futile attempt to make it big, and petty nobles. Araby is exactly what you think it is. Turn Aladdin into a war game faction, but only a background faction. And if you think that's me being dismissive of it, do please read about Sultan Jafar's military campaign against the old world. It's actually got advanced medicine, science, and magical practices and theories, but I can guarantee the only thing you're going to remember about this place is Sultan Jafar. We're going to start by clumping all the elves together, because their backstories are all very interconnected. Don't worry, they'll each get their own time to shine. Once upon a time, there were just elves. The first species created by the old ones to fight chaos, they were made to be elves. Arrogant, long-lived, and short of the Slann, they're the best wizards around. Then chaos descended, the old ones pissed off, and the elves had no idea what the hell to do. Eventually, a cool elf named Kalidor made a magical vortex, the chief cool elf Anarion grabbed a cursed sword that killed a whole lot of demons, and then everything cooled down a bit. Anarion disappeared, but they elected a new king, so all was okay. His children with his first wife even showed back up to be a bloodline of legendary heroes, though they're also cursed because of that sword. Then Anarion's second wife told their son Malekith that he should be king, convinced him with her boobs because family trees can be shaped like Christmas wreaths if you don't mind being a freak, and a civil war broke out. Malekith walked into a sacred fire to prove his worth, whereupon their chief god lit him on fire. Him and his mother kept trying to take over the home continent of Ulthuan. They nearly unmade it when they realized they couldn't, and then the newly formed Dark Elves were forced off of it to go live in Canada. The High Elves, those who stayed behind, once again got to rebuild the shattered remnants of their home. At least they still had their firm friendship with the dwarfs. That's a good thing. Oh, wait, that got ruined too. But don't feel too bad. The High Elf King ruined that one for them himself by being the worst. That one wasn't an unfortunate tragedy. It was a self-imposed unfortunate tragedy. The dwarfs and the High Elves fought Fantasy World War I, and it was pretty miserable for everyone involved. Picking a victor is sort of meaningless because both groups—
Pancreas is Marathi's #1 tier 3 sub. Oh no. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, does he really like her? It's so bad.
Were pretty thoroughly wrecked by the event, and the High Elves had to return home when the Dark Elves began the first of many
He has an entire video about it. Oh no.
Some High Elves
sounds like we gotta watch it.
In a magical forest called Athel Loren instead. Now we have our third group of elves, the Wood Elves. The Wood Elves are the easiest of the subgroups to explain. They sit in their magical forest and are insane. Sometimes people walk into the magical forest. It's safe to assume that unless stated otherwise, they do not come back out of the magical forest. Sometimes even if you come out of the magical forest, you find that 1,000 years have passed since you entered, and every single one of those years catches up with you as you age to dust within minutes. Aside from that though, your first instinct might be that these are stupid, uninspired, lame D&D Wood Elves who love nature and harmony and trees. And in fairness, they do love all those things. It's just that these trees are 50 feet tall, mobile, have a craving for the suffering of mankind, and the Wood Elves will invite peasants to feasts to fatten them up for the forest spirits. They don't give a rat's ass about the outside world aside from how it might affect their perfect little lives inside the forest. There are a few scattered enclaves of them across the world that are a bit friendlier, but the general motivation of the Wood Elves is getting other people to get the hell off of their lawn. And when the lawn can come to life and devour you alive, it's a pretty easy task to do that. They also gaslight the Bretonnians into thinking their goddess isn't an elf one, although as it turns out later on, the extent of the elven gaslighting goes even further beyond their understanding.
They're led by the avatars of two of the elf
gods, naturally the ones that are focused on nature, because Wood Elf. The king likes to rampage across Bretonnia every now and again for funsies, and the queen sometimes says don't do that, sometimes doesn't care, and sometimes encourages it when she's in a feisty mood. They're not my thing, truth be told, but I can respect the idea of wanting to be left alone for all eternity. So if you too cringe inside a little bit whenever you get a text message or a Discord DM, these guys might be for you.
No.
The High Elves are the ones that
you.
stayed on Ulthuan and remained much the same throughout. And like I said,
that's what someone would say if they were gaslighting me.
Sure as hell made them to be elves. Long-lived, magical, arrogant, and because they live for thousands of years, they're real good at what they do. Some of their swordsmen have been practicing for so long that they take into account the weight of their eyelashes when they swing. You're not beating that. And sure enough, the history of the High Elves is the history of them sailing out from their homeland to go stop most of the problems the world faces. They taught humanity how to use magic properly, they keep excess magic from saturating the world, and they have a habit of showing up just as they're needed to stop things from getting completely out of hand. There's a high elf who destroyed orc warbands that have been rampaging since the dawn of time and was so good at it that he gave the entire elven race a reputation amongst the greenskins for being good fighters. All of this because a fat goblin burned down his house. And of course, Teclis my beloved. Is there a 10,000 strong army of orcs, dark elves, or worse bearing down on you? Well, with a wave of his staff and a flick of his wrist, there is now a new crater. He's a real cool guy like that, and he's not even that arrogant. The flip side to balance this glazing session I've just done is that they do actually have weaknesses to go along with all that. They reproduce slowly, and in a wargame setting, that's the mark of death. Every death in battle is a hindrance, although at least compared to 40k, they aren't outright dying. They're on the watch list for being endangered rather than being endangered outright. And magic being so innate to them means that when something with it goes wrong, they feel it and are affected by it more acutely than most. Like when their magical queen is sad. Their entire homeland's climate is tied to her emotions. And like any living being that isn't a psychopath...
That is terrible. That is terrible. I would not want the weather to be connected to my emotions. I'm a pretty even-keeled person, but on occasion I have moments, and that would be terrible.
He is sad when a great amount of her people die. So when Malekith decides today is as good a day as any to get 1 million people killed trying to retake his homeland again, it really sucks to live in the same country as her. They're also physically frail, which isn't the biggest weakness in the world, but you'll definitely notice it when an orc is bearing down on them. They've also got a bit of a species-wide depression thing going on too. When you live functionally forever, you get a long time to get a real feel for what the world is like. And as it turns out, this world kinda sucks. They just don't have time to recuperate from any of their constant losses. The world is in danger, the High Elves sail out to fix the issue, and then the world is immediately in danger again. Add on to that some more standard elven weaknesses, like their old age, meaning they don't always adapt to new things well, and you've got a race that has a bit of a deadline attached to it. Mankind is inventing guns, tanks, and more, and the elves think the bow and arrow remains the height of warfare. To their credit, though, they're damn good with that bow and arrow, especially when it's a magical lightsaber bow and arrow.
Yes.
And dragons. The High Elves are best friends of...
That makes me think of the Interrex from Horus Rising, where they're like, the bows, they must be ceremonial, and they shoot laser beams that puncture like Astartes plate. Like, I'm sorry, that's insane.
Almost every dragon that isn't from Cathay. Dragons are scary in a fight, and let's be honest with ourselves. If a dragon declared your hometown to be the best thing ever and made sure to always visit and help out when it was in trouble, you'd have an ego the size of Mount Everest too.
Yes.
Overall, if you like elves, you'll like these guys. Even if you don't like elves or only associate Warhammer's elves with the Eldar, the High Elves' ability to actually put their money where their mouth is might win you over. And if nothing else, there's an elf character named Aletha Nar who skins dark elves alive because he just hates them that much, and is overall Michael Myers if he had pointy ears and special forces training.
Yes, I do remember this guy.
Hard to get more unelven than that guy.
Isn't he the guy, we talked about this, isn't he Dylan or Cole Sprouse voices him? I think?
Speaking of ego, though, take the stereotypical elven arrogance, or if you're not a big fan of the race, elven racism. Now jack it up to the logical extreme endpoint of the concept so that they don't only think they're the best, they think of all other races as vermin that should either serve them as slaves, be hunted for sport, or outright eradicated. Welcome to Nagaroth, friends. It only goes downhill from there. Warhammer North America sucks. It's home to the Dark Elves after they got kicked out of their old home, and the entire thing is either a frozen hellhole...
Okay, it does kind of look like North America, though. Like, in a weird way, it does vaguely look like North America. Huh. I thought he was kidding. No, he's right.
A desert hellhole, or a frozen hellhole bordering actual hell. There's something called the Altar of Ultimate Darkness inside of this place. Do you think anyone that lives here is gonna be nice? Sure enough, the Dark Elves aren't nice. There used to be some human tribes that lived in Nagaroth, and then the Dark Elves killed or enslaved them all. They have cities built into mountains they use as ships to raid and enslave others, they kidnapped High Elf children to raise as Dark Elves, and the entire society looks like what would happen if every single Decepticon was Starscream. Murder and treachery are only illegal if you get caught, and if you're powerful enough, not even then. They're led by Malekith and his mother Marathi, the same two elves who formed the Dark Elves 10,000 years prior. Marathi is kind of just always awful, but sometimes if you squint real hard, Malekith can can almost kind of, sort of a little bit resemble a noble elf hero he once was. Then he does things like instituting the elven god of murder as the head of the dark elf pantheon, uses demons as auxiliaries when he invades Ulthuan, and starts the Warhammer Fantasy Triangle slave trade. In spite of failing to retake Ulthuan every time he tries, he's a damn powerful wizard and warrior both. He's just Darth Vader, actually. He's even got the suit of armor that helps keep him alive because he was severely burned. And who can forget his mommy issues? Although I don't think Anakin ever piped his mother, so a little bit different there. There is no height of cruelty that Dark Elves don't aspire to. Acting nice gets you killed because it clearly means you're weak. Admitting you're a bit tired or injured gets you killed because if you were strong, you wouldn't be injured, so clearly you're weak and someone else more fitting should take your spot. They don't have as many dragon allies, and the ones they do are corrupted by dark magic, so they just grab whatever monstrosity they can find in the Midwest and put it in chains until it's time for battle. Much like their cousins in space, if you find you're about to be captured by them, it's probably best to just off yourself. They may not have quite as exotic measures of torturing you, but they make up for it with a real go-getter attitude in the field of human rights violations. There's a holiday called Blood Night. The cult of the god of murder goes around and kidnaps people to murder. They steal elven girls to be trained as witch elves like them, and they throw elven boys in a cauldron of boiling blood. If they survive, they get trained as an assassin. I don't think a concrete statistic has ever been given, but you can assume that not many people survive this. If you like being edgy, either ironically or because you think suffering is inherently deep, you'll like the Druchii. I can already feel the viewer retention going down, though, from how long I've been talking about elves, so how about we move to their polar opposites?
Dwarves!
Elves are posh, regal, and always at least a little bit uptight. Dwarfs are brash, to the point, and consider sobriety a sin. While the elves of Warhammer have a few things that make them stand out a bit from the standard elf template, the dwarfs of Warhammer could fit in just about any setting with minimal issue. They like drinking, they like mining, they hate orcs, and getting them to compliment non-dwarf craftsmanship is like pulling teeth from an orc. They hate magic both because it's weird elf nonsense, and because when the old ones made the dwarfs, they made them so opposed to magic their mere presence makes it not work properly. They love mining in mountains because that's just what dwarfs love. They do have three things that make them stand out, I didn't know that magic was not working around them. Not dwarves. Second is that these dwarves stand out, though. First is that it's pronounced dwarfs, not dwarves.
I barely heard a difference. Dwarfs, not dwarves. Dwarfs? So the F. Dwarfs, not dwarves. Okay.
Second is that these dwarfs are industrious little fellas. They've discovered oil and how to use it, and with it make helicopters, trains, and more. While humanity has galleons with cannons and the elves have either magical dragon ships or city-sized slave ships, the dwarfs have ironclads, submarines, and aircraft carriers. They hate using them because no proper dwarf would ever be happy with anything but solid earth under their feet, but they have them. They're slow to change to the point that anything less than 500 years old gets you complained at if you suggest using it, but at least some of them understand that the 20-barreled artillery piece is nice to have even if their ancestors might not approve. The second is that these dwarfs are the embodiment of the word spite. They're bitter that the other races won't just conform to proper dwarf ways. They hate orcs and goblins for ruining their once great cities. They hate the elves for that war they got into thousands of years ago. A war that ultimately started, mind you, because the dwarf diplomat forcibly had his beard shaved. There were some other factors leading up to it, but that was the final straw. The average dwarf doesn't know about the lizardmen much, but they'd certainly hate them too if they knew the Slann were involved in shifting some mountain ranges around that destroyed a whole lot of dwarf holds. Have you ever wronged a dwarf? Into the book you go. Yes. The Great Book of Grudges, that is. Every single thing that has in some way wronged the dwarf race is put down in there. Most dwarf holds have their own personal ones for slight against them in particular. Some dwarfs have their own personal book. Even if they don't, they have photographic memory. If you've wronged them, they'll remember. It doesn't even need to be on purpose. That's bad. A human town once shorted the dwarfs 2 coins by accident in exchange for some construction work. The dwarfs sent an army and killed everyone in it. If this happens to you and you try to seek some sort of retribution for this insane idea of compensation they seem to have, you're going back in the book for any harm you might cause doing it. They will spend centuries and entire military campaigns fighting wars to right grudges, and naturally anything that happens to them during these campaigns leads to more grudges, which leads to them trying to right those grudges, which causes more grudges. You know that saying about digging 2 holes when you set out for revenge? 2 holes is not nearly enough for the Dowie. And who could forget the Slayers? Let's say you're a dwarf, and you committed some seriously dishonorable action. Maybe your negligence led to other dwarfs getting killed. Maybe you fled at the height of a battle. Or maybe you just lost a bit too much money on a bet, or had your beard shaved against your will. In any of those cases, there's only one option available to you. Kill yourself. Take the Slayer oath and die in battle. There's no redeeming yourself in any way but death. There's funerals held for those who take the Slayer Oath before they even leave to find something to kill them, because for all intents and purposes, they've died and the message just hasn't gone through to them yet. If you want some great books that explore Slayers, dwarfs, and the Warhammer world, read Gotrek and Felix. Read Gotrek and Felix anyway.
I need to read it.
Now. Well, the dwarfs certainly have their work cut out for them. They've got some good stuff that makes them cool regardless. They can't use magic like wizards, so instead they grab it by the balls and hit it with a hammer until it works perfectly how they want it to with their runes. The longer their beards are, the more respected they are, and there's even a military unit called Longbeards. If their beard can touch the floor, they get equipped with some of the best armor dwarf money can buy.
Okay, that's amazing.
They've got the finest weapons in the setting, the finest armor in the setting, and while they may be slow as all hell, if they catch you, it's game over. If you like facial chair, hate change, and despise other people for being different, take a look at the dwarfs. Imagine dwarfs without that silly grudge ideology. You've committed a wrong and have to make up for it, but you can right it without causing your own death. And what's more, you can properly use magic. Fireball and lightning and all those other lovely spells you can think of. Without the shackles of tradition or even their own biology holding them back, they can produce wonders of both magic and industry. Unfortunately, they replace stupid grudges with one of the most horrific slaver cultures around, and they forego tradition to worship actual demons and dark gods. And being able to use magic isn't necessarily a good thing, because it eventually turns them into stone statues. These are the Chaos Dwarfs, and they're horrifying in a way the more human followers of Chaos can only dream of being. Saying they take the best of the dwarfs is sort of overstating it, because the best of the dwarfs is their willingness to stand by both the letter and spirit of their word. They'll have your back no matter what. Plus, while their incredible stubbornness does hold them back from a lot of progress they can make and gets them into some stupid conflicts, it also means they're not only going to accomplish whatever they set out to do, but always stand by your side. If the dwarfs say they're going to help you, they're going to help you. And if a human, dwarf, and elf are all fighting together, the dwarf is going to be the last one to break. The Chaos Dwarves take these traits and have molded them in a way that is best suited to being an evil bastard. The craftsmanship of the dwarves makes weapons, yes, but also architectural wonders and genuine pieces of art so good it can make a man weep. The Chaos Dwarves make hell factories that are 2,000% efficient and make the most brutal weapons Chaos has to offer. They take the runic magic of the dwarves and use it to bind demons into their weapons and armor. The demons aren't happy with this, but the Chaos Dwarfs are still dwarfs. They're so good at what they do that more often than not, the demons are powerless once the Chorfs get their hands on them. They aren't numerous, and they aren't even terribly expansionist, but when the Chaos Dwarfs do go to war, there's nothing that can truly equal it. The finest weapons and armor just like the dwarfs, only now bolstered with the power of Hellspawn. They even have the closest thing to a nice chaos god to worship, which give them all sorts of benefits. Hashut. Sure, he's called the Father of Darkness and is the god of tyranny and is overall exactly as evil as you'd expect from that, but he doesn't screw the Chorfs over. They want power, he likes it when tyrants are in power, so in exchange for them using their dwarf talents to enslave others, he gives them power. The most commonly seen use of Chaos Dwarfs is as artillery crewmen for the Hell Cannon unit, as well as freaking—
That's really cool, but terrifying. The faces on the side of these cannons, like, that's like, they're— Okay, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool, though. That goes hard.
Selling Chaos Lords weapons and armor. This is because of both their isolationist nature and because they don't really have an army. They do have legacy rules for the old world, and they have had an army, unlike Cathay, but their status as properly playable is a bit all over the place. Still though, if you don't mind legacy rules and finding either old minis or third-party ones to use, you can field the Chaos Dwarf army. So if you like the dwarfs but wish they were horrendous in every way possible, check out the Chaos Dwarfs. Just get used to people calling them Chorfs. Not the most dignified nickname, that one.
No, not really. Not really.
The ogres were the last race the old ones made before pissing off. They're resistant to chaos, tough unlike the elves, capable of changing things up quickly.
I always felt like so gross when Lore Master of Sotek was playing these, like just like, bleh, no.
Like the dwarfs, and are as ambitious and fluid as mankind. Unfortunately, the older ones couldn't quite get them to stop eating everything in sight, and never properly finish them before they left, or their homelands for that matter. When Chaos invaded, the ogres were left unfinished in this state, and many became nomadic after they ate everything in whatever their first homeland was. They also ate—
He has a nipple piercing, but it's got a skull. That's definitely a nipple piercing. I had to see it, so now you have to see it. That is terrible. Someone had to draw that. Someone came up with that idea. They're terrible for that. They're terrible for that. That is, I hate that. guy doesn't have arms and you focus on the piercing. Well, okay. Here's the thing. Like, I expect that. I expect this from the ogres. That they're gonna get so involved in melee that they're gonna lose limbs. And that they will replace them with weapons. I expect to see those things. Yeah, he's also gross because he is dragging the pot through, like... It looks like... Well, he does have other piercings in his flesh. But, like, this is a choice. That's a conscious choice to get that pierced. It's gross. How did you notice that? Because I was looking at the screen and, like, looking at the picture. And then I saw, oh, that's a skull. And I was like, what is this skull attached to? And then I saw there was a ring. And then I was like... That has to be attached to the nipple. Anyways.
The ancestors of the modern-day giants, who were a whole lot smarter, wiser, and powerful than the inbred alcoholic morons that giants are in Warhammer today. Things were made worse for them when they decided to migrate into Cathay, because the Dragon Emperor dropped a meteor on their homeland and blew it up. Now they had nowhere to return to, were still really hungry, and that meteor made a big hole called the Great Maw. It's a big hole in the ground with teeth, and the ogres throw food and people into it to get magical powers. They also worship a volcano and drink its lava to get fire magic.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, though.
Neither of the past two sentences were made up by me.
Is it lead belchers?
They're vaguely based on Mongolia, but I don't think Genghis Khan ever ate an entire city's population. Killed everyone in it, sure, but I don't think there was mass cannibalism. The ogres, though, do exactly that. Everything about them revolves around food. Their social hierarchy is in large part determined by how fat you are. They have a race of goblinoid slaves called Noblars they employ as equal parts pack mule, assistant chefs, and snacks. They go to war to eat other races' food and or the other races. One of the most common ways you'll see ogres around is as mercenaries, because while they are stupid, they're smart enough to realize being a mercenary means you can travel the world sampling all the food you can find, and you'll even get paid for the trouble. The gut is a sacred part of an ogre's body, to the point that oftentimes it's the only part of an ogre they keep protected with armor. That might sound stupid, but consider they're twice as tall, 4 times as wide, and 8 times as heavy as a normal person, and can reliably defeat demon invasions. The closest thing to an ogre's central government is Greece's Goldtooth tribe that sets up toll booths on the trading routes between Cathay and the Old World. Aside from that, though, they can be literally anywhere. They're happy to sell their services to all races, and sometimes they can even become corrupted by chaos. Being resistant to chaos, corruption, and immune to it are different things, especially if they willingly join.
That was my next question. He answered it.
Sometimes they even embrace the cultures of the places they go willingly.
The lead belchers are canon guys. Thank you, thank you.
Imperial nobles party, but are you going to tell the 9-foot-tall slab of muscle with a racial reputation for eating people that he's being a bit of a slob? No, you aren't. And if someone does, everyone at your fancy dinner party now has some rather gruesome entertainment, while your ogre guest has dessert.
Oh gosh.
The Chaos Demons are pretty similar between fantasy and 40k. They're all servants/bits of a greater god. Sufficient concentrations of magic can allow them to show up, and when a wizard messes up their spell, they can manifest that way too. They want to tear down the mortal world and bring ruin to the realms of man, elf, and dwarf, all that good stuff you can expect of demons. The only real difference is how they came about. In 40k, all the Chaos Gods have birthdays. Slaanesh has the most concrete one, but the other ones at one point very much came into existence.
For a moment there, I thought they like had actual like dates, but then I just realized they were talking about when they were conceived by humanity.
Timey-wimey cop-out garbage means they've also always existed, but I don't care about that. In fantasy, they have always existed, though. They're just evil gods who exist to ruin stuff. It's how it works. Chaos came about when they broke through the portals on each of the planet's poles when the old ones overused them to ferry materials and magic to their burgeoning creations. Other than that, pretty much the same, if with a small bit more emphasis on their positive aspects. Only a small bit, though. Khorne still likes war, Nurgle still likes disease, Tzeentch still likes scheming, and Slaanesh still likes degeneracy. Same demon units, same greater demons, hell, most of the named demons are the same. Where they really shine and differentiate between settings isn't their followers. Let's get GW's least favorite child out of the way first. The Beastmen are a cross between beasts and men. Being born of chaos itself, the Dark Gods don't need to bribe them with gifts to ensure their worship. Unfortunately for them, this means the Beastmen rarely, if ever, get any gifts from the gods. They know they'll always have their worship, so they get the scraps the proper Chaos Warriors get. Given that one theory of how they came about is man and beast getting a bit too friendly with each other, I don't feel too bad for them. Don't let that fool you, though. While the nations of men consider them to be a nuisance for all but the most isolated towns, and the dwarves view them similarly, the Wood Elves know the true danger they represent. In the forest of the world, millions of them lurk, and when they go to war, entire swaths of the country are trampled underneath their hooves. They defile nature with their every step, and won't stop their savage crusade until the civilized peoples of the world exist in a constant state of being hunted by their bestial overlords. At least that's what we're told in between lore blurbs of them being butchered like the cattle they look like. For the love of God, at least the Eldar are powerful on the tabletop more often than not. The Beastmen usually suck on tabletop and in the lore. I'm trying to be a hype man for the factions here, but while I wasn't for Bretonnia because I hate them, I'm not for the Beastmen because I pity them. For what it's worth though, they are incredibly dangerous to the average person in this setting. Villages at the frontier of almost every faction are regularly under assault by Beastmen raiders, and when they gather in force, they'll be wiped off the map at a moment's notice. And since they're all part animal, they have incredibly sharp senses. If you get in a fight with one while you're traveling, it's already game over. You can probably take that one on, but the 20 or so more beelining it in your direction because they heard a fight is a different story. The Beastmen are a savage race to the point that things like intact walls drive them to frothing rage, such as their hatred for civilization. All they do in their free time is get into brutal fights amongst each other, sometimes
they
involving
hate civilization.
one challenging
I didn't
another
know
for a
that.
position in the hierarchy, but
They
usually
hate
just to
anything
assert
orderly.
dominance or for fun, hunt people, and drink. They do have some forms of worship for the Chaos Gods, and their shamans both help construct effigies and are actually revered by other beastmen as something above their common squabbling, but for the most part, they're every stereotype of barbarians squashed into one. Aside from those shamans, they have no desire to form their own culture, civilization, or cities. They just want to hunt like the beasts they are. The beastmen may be a bit of an acquired taste, but for what it's worth, I don't think I've ever seen people address beastmen players with anything but some measure of respect. While the beasts of chaos are no more, the OG beastmen of fantasy have returned to the tabletop. If you like the idea of being this savage force of nature that just wants to ruin, all the while being backed by the dark gods, the beastmen might be for you. Just, don't expect to win all that often. Part of the respect beastmen players get is for sticking with an army that Games Workshop seems to hold in utter contempt. I know I'm incredibly biased, but I do not care for the motivations of most of the Traitor Legions. They strike me as like listening to a story about me and my siblings not getting along when we were kids.
No, I kind of agree with that, though. I agree with that. Some of them are like, oh, okay, I can kind of understand, I can kind of get it. Others, I'm just like, I wish I could feel bad, but I don't.
I'm sure is at least partly intentional, but that's not the kind of motivation I want for why someone sold their soul to the forces of hell. At least not on a faction-wide level. By contrast, let's look at the Warriors of Chaos motivations for worshipping chaos. I'd say there's two blanket ones you can say. The reasonable one is that they live in the barren, icy lands of Norska. Aside from the southernmost regions, permafrost covers the whole land. No crops can be grown, and few animals are around to hunt. Because of their proximity to the North Pole, where the realm of chaos intersects with reality, a lot of those animals are heavily mutated, if not outright demonic. A lot of these people are also almost explicitly forsaken by Sigmar, as a lot of the ones who live there now are the descendants of the ones Sigmar forced out when he was forming the Empire.
Yeah, I can see why they wouldn't be really thrilled about that.
These people would turn to the Chaos Gods for protection and worship. If the only option of worship is the guy who's all about plague, you might as well hope he's in a good mood and will keep the plague at bay in exchange for a few sacrificed southerners. The other motivation, while less relatable, is also much more fun. Just wanting to be an evil, powerful overlord. Why do you worship the Dark Gods? Because they give you ultra-powerful cursed armor you can use to give them more sacrifices to gain more power with. Why do you slaughter in the name of the Blood God and all the others?
Sounds like grinding.
Because it's fun. Who gives a damn about morality? That orphanage made the mistake of being in front of you, so it obviously had to go. If the Blood Dragons are a heavy metal album cover, the Warriors of Chaos are every heavy metal album cover combined into one. Kill for the Dark Gods at every possible moment. Let loose your darkest desires onto the world, because you have the explicit backing of the powers that be to do so. The Norskins who live in the frozen north will make pilgrimages to the northern pole and realm of chaos to become true warriors of darkness. If they're unlucky or unworthy, they'll turn into chaos spawn or demon food. If they're lucky or worthy enough, they'll become mighty chaos lords. And if they're really lucky and get just the right amount of attention from their gods, they can become demon princes of chaos, immortal beings with the blessings of the gods themselves to pillage across the world in their name. Look at this dude. He has 4 weapons visible alone, and his armor looks like he just grabbed every single bit of scrap metal around and had a demon turn it into something almost coherent to look at. If you want to play the bad guys who revel in being bad guys for the sake of it, the Warriors of Chaos have no equal. But believe it or not, these guys aren't the evilest faction. I love the Skaven.
I was gonna say.
Take a rat, make it person-sized, walk on 2 legs, and fill it with hate. Now let them outnumber everyone else combined by a factor of 10, give them energy weapons and the foulest of magics, and a desire to see everyone else brought low before them. With that, you have the Skaven, and they are truly glorious. Unlike the Chaos Gods, their god of the Horned Rat has absolutely no positives. His own little territory in the realm of Chaos is the realm of Ruin. It sucks, and in there is a greater demon of his for every single Skaven, all of whom also suck. With numbers and power like they have, there's only one reason the Skaven haven't already taken over the world. The thing their god and race embodies more than anything else is the word asshole. They hate the other races for sure. They're petty and spiteful enough that even though they don't have any uses for gold, they mine it solely because it inconveniences everyone else. But they hate each other only a fraction of a fraction less than they hate everyone else. They're also all power-hungry morons who are convinced that if they were in charge, they could lead Skavendom to victory. And of course, themselves to a life of luxury and power. So one will have a plan to defeat a dwarf army, and then all his underlings immediately begin sabotaging each other to look good for the commander, sabotaging the commander to take his place, and then sabotaging themselves because they're just stupid. They eat each other for food, the Skaven at the top bully the ones below them, and this lovely form of Reaganomics trickles all the way down to the common clan rat bullying Skaven slaves because the rat above him bullied him because the rat above him bullied him. Of course, none of this matters in terms of defeating them. For one, they're rat people. There's a reason the only human-inhabited place on Earth that doesn't have rats is Alberta. The Skaven literally breed like rats because they are. In the time it takes you to kill one, they've already given birth to another 1,000. In a chapter from a Skaven character's point of view, the commanding wizard of the Skaven army remarked it was impressive how they managed to pull off a victory despite only outnumbering the enemy 4-1. When a 4-1 ratio is what they consider to be a pretty even fight, you can rest easy, knowing there's a lot of rats under your feet. Or don't rest easy. I wouldn't. And of course their technology. It's the best in the world. They have nuclear weapons. They burrow under the ground and put them under people or places they don't like, which is everywhere and everyone. The only places the Skaven don't have some presence on is Ulthuan, the High Elf home, and Athelloren, the Wood Elf home. They can't get to Ulthuan because it's a floating island continent that doesn't touch the sea floor. There's no ground for them to dig up under through. They can't get to Athelloren, meanwhile, because the ground itself is alive and actively hates them for trespassing. They'll send thousands of their slaves and basic soldiers to death in order to slightly soften up the enemy defenses. As far as the Council of 13 that rules Skavendom is concerned, 1,000 slave rats in exchange for the enemy losing a couple rockets and cannonballs is a positive trade. This is before they start firing at you with magically powered Gatling guns, throwing poison gas at you, and lighting you on fire with magically powered flamethrowers. Every single one of those things has the potential to break and kill the operators because the magic rocks powering it are incredibly unstable, and it just doesn't matter to the Skaven. Other Skaven killed are other potential rivals killed, and everyone else they kill is one less obstacle to Skaven domination over the world. That magical substance they use to power their weapons is a rock called Warpstone, by the way, and the Skaven covet it above all else. They use it to power pretty much everything that isn't manually powered by treadmills of slave rats. Other uses for it include using it to boost their magical strength, boost their physical strength, as food, and as a cocaine equivalent. Everyone else that touches the stuff either mutates or dies on the spot, and for the Skaven it's nose candy. If they sound goofy, it's because they are, but consider what it's like on the other side of a Skaven invasion. You're walking down the street, things have been a bit rough with the goings-on in the town, but nothing that can't be explained by natural causes. Then all you hear is explosions, the sounds of the most horrifying mutated monstrosities ever conceived, and right as you turn the corner, all you see is dozens of beady red eyes staring at you with full intent to kill and eat you. And that's if you're lucky. On the other end of things, the Skaven are horrifying. There's a lot more about the Skaven I could say, but here's a quick and easy way to know if you like them. If you despise everything about everyone around you, know for a fact you should be in charge of everyone because you're clearly right, and altruism makes you want to curl up and die, you'll like the Skaven. Or alternatively, if you want to rock up to a fantasy setting with machine guns, magical artillery, and nuclear bombs, they're for you too. And I believe that is every major fantasy faction.
Incredible.
And a lot of the minor ones. If you're new to fantasy, I hope this was a decently informative primer. If you aren't, I hope something in here was funny. Thank you as always to my wonderful channel members. You are the Warhammer fantasy to my Warhammer, the backbone of everything that has come before and since. If you'd like to support the channel, feel free to subscribe or become a member. Either way, thank you for watching and take care out there. There's a whole faction of vampire pirates I didn't really talk about. For the overall lore, they're just not important, but one of them has the largest navy in the world. That's what Warhammer Fantasy considers forgettable. A pirate vampire with the largest navy in the world. Total War only for the most part, but hey, it's pretty cool to play in that.
I totally forgot. I watched the trailer and everything, and I totally forgot. Vampire Coast, their stuff is really cool. I like the crab that uses the shell. The giant crab that uses like the ship as its shell. Pretty cool. I won't lie. Okay, so we did not get through everything I was expecting to get through because we deviated for probably 45 minutes. Anyways. So, the chat's gonna go insane for a second. Let me just do that while it fixes itself. Marathi video next. We will probably watch more videos throughout the week. That like makes the most sense to me. Is it caught up? Nope, it's not caught up. It's still thinking. There's a lot of messages, so we're just gonna let it sit for a little bit. And Evolve, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. Thank you. Our total is 384 so far. Your tweet is already quite popular. Oh no. Let me look. 61 people have liked it so far. Oh gosh. Yep. Yeah. Yep, okay. I'll have to look at all of those later and respond to people. Okay, let's see. Is the Twitch chat okay now? Okay, good. It's okay. It needed to go through like tons. Oh. There we go. There we go. It is now caught up. I don't think it's done. No, it is done. See, it's caught up. It just had to do all of the different redeems. Redeems. That's what we'll call it. It's caught up now. Don't worry, don't worry. But okay, so what we'll do is that we are probably gonna watch more videos. We're gonna watch more videos throughout the week, so I'll probably just pick out a video and react to it before we get to our content, especially on Friday. Especially on Friday when we have mini painting to do. Not mini painting, mini building, so it won't take as much time. Can we see some? Oh gosh. I will look at the comments and we will go over them tomorrow. I imagine it's going to be brought up. Yeah. So I'm just amazed. I'm just amazed. So, in any case, should we, let's see if we can find someone to raid into tonight. That would be fun. Because I think that would be a good time. Because I've had a lot of fun tonight, but I need to go get the chicken pot pie. I need to go get this chicken pot pie. We will. It's been a while since we've raided into Len. She's very nice. She's playing Minecraft, so hopefully it should be much more chill. You know, we did not get to AOS at all. Everything went sideways. Everything went so sideways, but thank you to everyone who donated gift subs. I am constantly amazed at how generous you guys are. I will have the number updated on the screen next time we go around. Wait, actually, important question. Blood Angel, one of their successor chapters. I like the blood. I'm basic. I like the Blood Angels. We will get to AOS later this week, I promise. This just, everything kind of went off the rails and I wasn't expecting it. So, yeah. So we will get to it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. We'll do our raid out, and I will see you all tomorrow. We are playing Darktide with Bricky, Froggy PhD, and DK Diamantes. It should be a ton of fun. So I hope to see you all there. This is at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Okay? Thank you guys for joining me tonight, and I will catch you all later. Bye! Don't skip leg day.